I'll be with you in just 1 second. I am trying to update the stupid thing here. What is going on? Okay, well, we're going to have to wing it. We have to wing it. That's right. Follow me, boys and girls. Follow me right here. We are talking about Blackburn Rovers transfer shenanigans. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and, of course, follow. We are just cleaning up. Just made this show. Just pulled it out of my arse, guys. Just pulled it out of my arse. I don't even know what we're going to talk about for 4 solid hours. I have the Panini stickers on standby if worse comes to the worst. But yeah, I am just cleaning up the house here, guys. Make sure you subscribe, of course, if you're new. Smash the like. And, of course, you know where I'm going to go with this now. It is, of course, vote. That's right. Cutley/vote Roverseas. 100% free. Who, of course, else delivers your non-league football, League 2, League 1, Bundesliga, French football, bloody even South Korean football over the COVID? Who else does that? Nobody. Me. I do that. I get off my arse. I make some videos for you guys and for me. Of course, yes. We are looking forward to the conclusion of the transfer window. And despite all the fanfare and all hurrah, hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully the window could be a bit of a damp squib in my eyes. In all honesty, I think it's going to be a bit of a weird and bland conclusion to the transfer window. Of course, let me talk about the setup here. We do have on this hand side a rolling feed of my Twitter feed. So if I follow you on Twitter, you could put cucumbers or something like that, and it'll pop up on the feed. It's so that you can keep an eye on a lot of the football related posts that I keep an eye on, because they may be the ones to break the news to us over the course of the next few hours. And on this hand side is, of course, anything that's got the tag Rovers in there. So if you put cucumber hashtag Rovers, it'll pop up on the screen eventually. So those are what's going on there, so you don't miss a beat. We will be joined by a couple of guests later on. We've got, of course, the forever opinionated, and a guy I'm relying on to do some chatter is, of course, Jacob Ward, who will be with us. Alexander Hayward, of course, also one of the mafiosos. And, of course, making his debut last night, Pete from Philly Rovers, may gate crash us a little bit later on. But we are talking about the transfer window, and should we talk about the elephant in the room, really? It looks like as much fanfare, or as much build-up as this transfer window has had, it looks like the Chilean sensation, Big Bad Boy Burton Diaz, will be playing against Bristol City come Saturday. It looks like nobody's matched the value, or nobody's come ever close to completing the benchmark £15 million signing. Now, I've put a tweet out there, and I did express my concern about the deal. So, what are your guys' take on that? That again, get your comments in. Of course, I'm interested to hear what you guys think, and I'll be reading them. Of course. In the thing, are we getting done over? Yes, of course, the goals could lead to the Premier League, but realistically, this season is a transitional season. We're not getting to the Premier League. I'm gonna break it to you gently out now, guys. We are not getting into the Premier League, not this season. So yes, Diaz's goals can help alleviate. We may have the one of the best strikers of the ball in the Championship for this season, or this season only. The only way I could actually put a smile on my face for this deal, as if he signs a new contract, and that's good news for us. One more season a day. It's okay. Again, I'm not over the moon. I am not doing backflips up the stairs to the bedroom. I'm not that thrilled, because £15 million of investment is going to go down the shitter unless we get this deal over the line. So, or at least get it signed, a new contract. Hopefully, there's some fires or irons in the fire that's going to change that to maybe alleviate any financial restraint on Rovers, and maybe he actually might sign a deal. I don't know. And again, we do have, what are we looking at here? We've got about four hours of the transfer window left. So we will go over everything. We'll go over what's happened for Rovers. There's not been that much, to be honest with you. And of course, we will be hopefully talking to some Roverseas mafiosos for their opinions on the transfer window as a whole. But of course, did we miss out on anybody? You know, I did put a big old fancy image at the start of the screen here with Jean-Paul Van Heck's image on there, Callum Styles on there, Josh Bowler as well, and Diaz. And it looks like, well, for the most part, the Styles and the Van Heck thing, there's nothing in that. And the Josh Bowler looks like he's gone. He's signed for Forest, but he's gone out on loan to Olympiacos. I don't know. I don't know what about that. Has Sunderland signed any more players? They've been actually bringing some quality players as well. Tony Mowbray's done an absolutely fantastic. It's nothing about Mowbray. I'm sure Mowbray had no say in the matter. But they brought in some electric youngsters from PSG. Of course, Diallo from Manchester United. £20-odd million signing. That was for United. So it's a good chance for him to show the Championship and England and of course United what he's all about. But yes, today we are going to be taking a long hard look at it. But we won't do. Oh, we've got Alexander Haber in the house, so we will bring him in. In fact, if he's watching, stay put. In fact, you all need to stay put. I've got to run upstairs and get my earbuds. So while you're here, just admire the scenery, take it all in. And in fact, while I run upstairs, you can have a look at this and you can vote for me. Vote, vote, vote. I'm going to get my earbuds. So vote, vote, vote. I am back. I have my earbuds. I'll get rid of the screen. So all of yous, all 20 of yous should have voted there and have got bumped us up a little bit closer to the money as well. So give us a second here while we bring in our first guest. So give him a round of applause. Of course, Alexander Haber will be here in a second. Hopefully he's got good internet. And hopefully... Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes or no? Can you hear me? A little bit helter-skelter here. Can you hear me, Alex? You're on mute. You've muted yourself. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can I even hear you? Can I even hear you? That is the question. Can you hear me? You can? I can't hear a bloody thing. I cannot hear a bloody thing. So let me just see what we got to go. I know this is live TV, guys. Live TV. So let me try and figure this all out while we do this. So why can't I see that? So there's this. I don't know why I can't hear you. Are these actually charged? Let's try again on this one. If not, I'm gonna have to do something hinky. That sounds a bit better. How about now? Say something. Oh gosh, I can't hear. Okay, I know what we have to do. You're gonna have to enter the Zoom again. Hang on a minute. Let me exit the Zoom, and we'll start it up again. Start that bad boy up, and then we will have Alex on the show. Alex, of course, is a Rovers fan, living down London way-ish. So hopefully he can jump back in again, and hopefully I can hear him. So let's give it a whirl this time. IT at its finest, guys. IT's at its finest. Again, the big shout out to Pete yesterday, doing us a fantastic favour for the watch along. How about now? Can you hear me now? Oh, bollocks to it! What's going on here? What is going on here? It says, let me have a listen. Now, say something. I can hear you now, but 1 second. I've got to see why. Maybe that. How about now? You can hear me? Can everybody at home hear Alex in a second? I've got to get him on the screen here, and then we will see if everybody can hear him, and we'll talk about some of the business that Rovers have been doing today. And in fact, it's been not much business, but it's a little bit. I'll say something. I don't think it's going to work, you know, guys. I don't think it's going to work at this moment. But say something. Yay! We're cooking. We're cooking with gas. So there is Alexander Haben. Welcome to the party, to the madhouse. Let's get your name on there so people can actually have a little look at who you are. Of course, he is part of the Roverseas Mafioso, based down. He's in the southern camp there, so keeping an eye on the Southern Rovers. Let's get the elephant out of the way in the room first. Of course, you should be able to hear him. I don't know what everyone's saying in the chat. You should be able to hear him. You're lying to me. But so Diaz, it looks like Diaz is staying. So yes, it's good news that he's staying. He will be a key goal provider, scorer. But it's a ticking time bomb. Really, you know, we're gonna lose it for free.
Is that official now? Is that official that he's staying?
Oh, it's as of right now. It is official, but there is still transfer window to be had.
All right.
So you know, there's like 4 hours left. So it could be a late bloomer, a late blossomer. But what's your take on it if it's the case?
well, I I I want him to stay, but I want him to sign a new deal. It's as simple as that. Um, I, Obviously he needs improved terms, and they're going to have to bend their. They're going to have to be flexible with the wage structure. They've got to do something to keep him, because we don't want to lose him for nothing. That is the worry. That is a big worry to lose him for nothing. But yes, I want it. For now, I don't see how we bring in a player of his calibre. If he goes, I think whoever we get will be a downgrade, in my opinion. I don't see us getting an upgrade on him. So I think Venky's need to pull out all the stops, and get him to sign a new deal, even a short-term deal, just to buy us some more time, so that it can be looked at again, maybe in the next transfer window.
Yeah, I think some people are banding around that maybe a new contract could be offered, just like a sweetener to keep him here for 18 months, or have him contracted at least for 18 months or whatever, yeah, but with a release clause, something like that. For me, I don't know. They never provided such an option for Darrell Lenihan. They never provided an option for Joe Rothwell. So I don't know. I'm dumbfounded.
No. Exactly. I don't. Would those players have taken that option? I'm not sure they would have. But I get the feeling that Ben might take it if it was the right offer. I think he might take it. Those other players that have gone, I think they'd already kind of made their decision, and I think it would have been, an offer that Venky's weren't prepared to make. But I think in Ben's case, I think because of his value or potential value, then they have to push the boat out.
Yes, they do. They do need to push the boat out. He is a rare breed of a striker, of course, and he's a Chilean sensation, of course, making his own brand as well in Chile. But yeah.
But I'm not getting any sense that he's not happy at the club. So with those other players that went, I could tell that they weren't completely happy at the club, for various reasons. So yeah, I think Dara was pretty happy, but I don't think he was getting the assurances he wanted at the time. But the others, I don't think they were entirely happy. But I think I get the vibe that Ben is happy. He's got good friends in the team, the squad, and I think he can tell that things are going in the right direction. So it's just about giving him the right offer to keep him for long enough that we can sell him for the right money. So hopefully that can be resolved. So yeah, I personally, I'd be happy. I'm happy for him not to go, but we need the right resolution.
Yeah, and it could also lead to a strong season for Rovers. I think losing him and not replacing him and relying on what we've got will probably give us a worse season in the long for John Dar Thomason's debut. I think this definitely pushes us more closer to the top half of the table than it does to the bottom. And also, yeah, he was last season. If you take Mitrovic out of the equation, top 2 or 3 goal scorers in the league last year. Can he replicate that? He's got a few goals to his name already, and hey, don't get. I did put a tweet out there, and it was, taken a bit of a maybe a bit of a disdain that I don't like Diaz. Of course not. I love Diaz. I love Dak. I love a lot of these guys, and I've loved a lot that we've lost in the past. But I'm thinking as a businessman now here that we lose. I feel we're going to lose money. But if there is some small glimmer of a hope that we could get him signed on the dotted line for a little bit longer, then huzzah, we win the transfer window. But right now, we'll have to wait and see.
exactly. I mean, that is the fear. The fear is to lose him for nothing. There has to be a resolution for that if he's staying.
Yeah. What about? Of course, we have actually strengthened our attacking lines. I don't know if you caught it last night. George Hurst has come in. We'll elaborate on him, of course, within the length and breadth of this show. But a loanee from Leicester, a loan to a possible option to buy, which has seemed to be the move that we have done for a couple of deals at the back end of this window now. So George Hurst, young gun. I don't know too much about him. I know he was at Pompey last season. Scored a bunch of goals, 15 goals. The season prior, he was in the Championship. Maybe it was a season too soon. Played a lot of games. Got 0 goals. But what is your take initially on that bit of business?
Well, apparently, when he was in the Championship, was it Rotherham?
Yep.
Yes. Apparently, he was a sub. He came off the bench a lot, so he wasn't starting a lot of those appearances. So, I suppose that, we can take that into consideration. But, yeah, he's done well at Portsmouth. 15 goals is a decent return. And he looks like a good prospect. He's been good at youth level through the various stages of youth teams. So... yeah, I think he's a good prospect, but he's not proven at Championship level. So, we'll see. We'll see how he does. But I think under John Dole Thomason, I think he's got every chance of getting the best out of him. So, yeah, I'm hopeful and optimistic about him, but he's not going to be one that's just going to... In my opinion, I don't think he'll just come in and score a hat trick, in his first appearance, But yeah, he's a good prospect, and we those are the kind of players that JDT wants. So yeah.
Also, yeah.
Good
I think it's a good bit of business, loan, and again, it's not an obligation to buy. So we're not going to say, oh yeah, he was shit like Zfouk last season, and then drop 5 million on the guy, which is what they're quoting him at. A lot of money. And we will look later on in this long, super long show at his actual value later. I don't want to do a spoiler. I'll still spoil. We'll tease it. No.
Okay.
Go for it. Go. Okay. You go. You got some words there. I can hear you.
Yeah. I was just going to add that I think that's the way that Blackburn Rovers will operate, and they should operate with loans with the option to buy. Some of these players will be unproven. So yeah, I think that's a very wise way to go. And it's the way the club needs to go, because we don't have Premiership money. Obviously, we don't have what some Championship teams have, parachute payments, and the owners have to be sensible, and it just makes a lot of sense.
Hold that thought there, Alex. I just want to jump to the main screen here for a second. So, guys, I'm going to try something a little bit crazy later on in this mega stream. I'm going to be hosting a Twitter space where you can actually talk about your thoughts and opinions about the transfers live on this show. Now, the Twitter space will be coming at you from my own personal Twitter feed. So if you don't follow me on there, do that. It's just at Dirk Copeland. Follow me there, and then I will go live on I think it's at 11 o'clock, 6 o'clock my time, in about 2.5 hours. I think we will go live for the Twitter space. So if you're in there, so basically we're kind of merging this live YouTube stream here with the Twitter space. This is untested. This could be an absolute disaster, or it will be a fantastic stuff for getting you guys involved. So make sure you keep an eye on that. And of course, mind your P's and Q's. Don't say Dirk likes it up the bum and stuff like that, because I'm putting my faith in yous. I'm putting my faith in yous that you'll be keeping it clean. Anyway, let's go back to Alexander Haben. So, of course, we also brought in a player early doors today. Clinton, what's his name? Clinton Mola, coming at you from Stuttgart. Formerly of Chelsea, of course. I think they signed you when you were a youngster. They signed pretty much everybody when they were a youngster at some stage. Clinton Mola, young guy, can play left side of a back three, can play left back, full back, defensive midfielder. Bit of a random guy, really.
Yeah, but he apparently can play all the positions that Blackburn need. Defensive midfielder cover, central defender cover, left back cover. So I think these are really key positions that he can play if needed. So it seems like a really clever piece of business, this one, for me. Again, it's a loan, isn't it? A loan with an option.
Yep.
So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. If he impresses, then hopefully we can sign him permanently. And yeah, I mean he's got the pedigree coming from Chelsea and getting through all their youth system, and then going away and proving himself in Germany with Stuttgart.
Yeah, and also he's actually worked his way up the England ranks from a youngster all the way up to England under 21. So he's represented at all levels. Just needs to get that next one now, of course, as an England international. Can he do that? We'll have to wait and see.
Yes. So I don't know his stats from his time at Stuttgart, but or how much he played. Yeah, I mean, he sounds promising. He sounds like it could be a real good signing. So
yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope so. So, from your point of view, who is Blackburn Rovers signing of the season so far?
Signing of the season.
So let's run back. Let's run through them a little bit here, just to remind you. We had Callum Britton coming in here. Of course, we had Sammy Smodic coming in, attacking midfielder. Started off okay, kind of gone a little bit wayside. Dominic Hyam came in. We have Ethan from Coventry. Bit of money on him. Played last night against Blackpool. We had Ethan Walker as well. Don't know much about him at all, to be honest with you. And then we've had the loans. Tyler Morton coming through from Liverpool. We've had now Clinton Mola and now George Hurst. I think that is our business right now. And if you were to put your money on the mouth and say this is the signing of the season, who was it?
For me, so far, probably Morton looks like a good player. He really does. He filled in at centre back in the cup, and he just looks quality. He just looks like a quality all-round midfielder. So it's potentially him for me, even though he's on loan, but he comes from Liverpool, so he just looks class. He just looks like a class player. So he looks like a complete midfielder to me, who can also play in defence. So yeah, he's looking really good. But we made a lot of signings. The jury's out on some of them for me, like Smodix. The jury's out for me on him. He started well with his goal, but I want to see more from him. I want to see if he can be another Dak. So we need to see more from him. So the jury's out. Callum Britton, he's done well. I've been impressed with him. Yeah, I think he's done well. There's a lot of good. We've done good business. There's a lot of potential there, but for me so far, Morton looks like a real good player. So I like your thinking. I thought, of course, he's come in and he's been told to step it up in a couple of positions where he might not be familiar with. He was at the back there for the cup and he did a great job. And yes, when he's on the ball in midfield, he seems to have
a pass or two in his locker. So yeah, he's come in, he's looked good. I thought Callum Britton's also adapted well to coming in and taking over from Nyambe's spot. And then of course, what else do we have? Smodic, yeah. Dominic Hyam, so far so good. Played 1-1-1, kept clean sheet. We like more of that as well. So yeah, I think it is a steady bit of business. Steady bit of business. So
I think just going by his one game, Dom Hyam, if that's right. He did really well, but it's just one game, so it's a bit too early to say too much on him. But no, he did great in that game. So he's done. He looks like a good player. He looks solid, good all-round central defender, I'd say. Yeah.
Well, we also linked with a lot of players throughout the transfer window. Callum Stiles was one of them, who would have been nice to have on the left-hand side as well as midfield. We also been linked with this morning, Dembele from Bournemouth. That was a potential move that picked up a bit of momentum early doors, but has since died down a little bit. And who else was we linked with? Josh Bowler. Yeah, Josh Bowler was linked earlier remote, vaguely linked with, and he looks like he's gone in Forest, and then loaned out to Olympiacos. So did we miss the treat on any of those, or are you happy that we didn't bother getting them in the end?
I was hoping that the Dembele thing would go through.
Yeah, me too.
Because he looks like a quality. He would have been a quality signing. So I was really hoping that was going to happen. Is there any chance that is that completely off, or is there still some possibility?
If I was a betting man, I'd say it's off, but I would also say that if Diaz does leave, then maybe we go straight back in for that and try to replace one from one there. I'm here. I'm just closing the door. Keep talking.
He's a versatile, Dembele. He's a versatile attacker. He prefers to play as a striker, and he's got goals in him. So, yeah, I think he's the kind of player that we want. Apparently, he can hold up the ball as well. So I think he'd be a really good, solid signing, a championship level. A good all-rounder, so I think he's the kind of signing we're screaming, like a dream signing that we're screaming out for. Yeah. So, but that is a dream. Maybe it might be a stretch too far.
Maybe. Let's just bring you bang up to date with the chat here. We have some guys in the chat. A couple of people say, and Adam said hello, Alexander. Just wanted to give you a big hello. What we got going on here? We are saying, Naive Steve says, I'm like Ronaldo tonight, sat on my arse in Manchester going nowhere. Dux91 says, 50 mil for Ben, otherwise he walks for free in January. Awful business for Rovers. They spent 7 million on him. They get your money back and get profit. Naive Steve said, Hyam looked good last night, but Morton could be as good as Harvey Elliott. James B. FC, are you going to stream to the bitter end? Looks like it. Andy Barnes, think we have a good crop of youngsters coming through that need a chance as well. I concur. Andrew Watson said, got a crew youngsters to look at the summer. Callum Ainley, midfield, and teenage centre-half Zach Williams been linked with Brighton. So the chat is bubbling up a little bit, as of course we have 3 hours and 25 minutes of the transfer window left. Alex, do you expect any more bit of business coming in the doors for Rovers this season? And what about any potential departures? I think the latest I'm hearing is Joe Rankin-Costello is staying put, and Dan Butterworth is going to go out on loan. What are your thoughts?
Right. Well, Dan Butterworth has just been in hiding. So I don't know if that's his choice or, but yeah, I think Dan Butterworth needs it. I think that's for sure. I think he needs a good move to get his confidence up. I think League Two would probably be a good destination for him. Maybe League One, but yeah, he's got to prove himself. He's got to sort of earn his spurs like Scott Wharton did. Totally different player, but it's that league experience that I think Butterworth desperately needs. That I think there's a good player there potentially, but I think he needs the games at a lower level to improve, to reach his full potential. With JRC, I think a loan would be good for him as well. If he can get consistently playing games, I think he'll reach his full potential, because I think he's a good player. But I just feel like he's missed out a little bit on some experience that he really needs playing league football. So whether that's League One or League Two, I think that'd be good for him as well. So yeah, I think those two should probably go out on loan.
Okay. Well, so if you were a headmaster or a teacher or a school, and you had to grade, you looked at Blackburn Rovers transfer business. Let's take a look at it as a whole. From the summer, losing Rothwell, Nyambe, and of course the players that we brought in. How would you mark it from an A to an F, or an A star to an F?
Oh wow. Well, losing those players for nothing, that's got to be a big minus.
Yeah.
But the players we brought in, I think we've done quite well there. So I'd probably put us at around a C.
Brave.
Sort of happy enough middle ground at the moment, with the potential maybe to go up a bit, but it depends if we bring anyone else in really. But I think we made the right signings. The one that I do have the question mark about is Smodix, like more than the others, just because. Yeah, I'm really hoping that he can deliver goals and assists, and he hasn't been doing that recently. So yeah.
Okay.
But the others, happy enough with all the others. It's just the ones going out that have left for free that's a big minus for me.
All right, well, I'm going to let you bow out for the time being. Don't forget, you're going to come back later on. We're going to have a big get together. If you could, stick the toothpicks under your eyes, because it might be a long wait for nothing, no product at the end of it. But I'll let you go. I'll get Jacob in the waiting room. We'll drag him in here and get his take on it. And while we are doing that, guys and gals and girls, if you haven't voted, please vote. Of course, Alex, you're good to go. Don't go. Keep an eye on the WhatsApp chat. We'll bring you back in a little bit later on. Go do your business, and then we'll reconvene. Of course, vote. Cutley /vote Roverseas. You are the best. No problem. You're the man. You're the daddy-o. So. Of course, and then we'll sideswipe and we'll get Jacob in here in just a tickety-boo, if I can figure out how to get rid of this. There, that probably does it. So, of course, we're down to 3 hours and 20 minutes and 50 seconds to get rid of the business. Alex, you're still here. What's going on? So he's still there. Jacob has just put it on his makeup, so we'll get him on here shortly. So and he's getting his muscles worked, because he's going to be talking. He's going to give it to you raw in a second here, boys. Burnley just have signed to play. You are right. We'll bring you bang up to date in a second on that one. In fact, let me have I've got a tab open. I've got a tab open on pretty much every deal going on in the world, and I'm not kidding you. So let's refresh them all to see what's been going on. Yeah, that's not working. Where are we going? We're going to the Championship. So, well, it looks like Stephen Humphreys has gone from Wigan to Hearts. That's a new deal done and dusted over the line. Elliot Thorpe has gone from Luton to Burton. Tim Imbrigham has gone from Aston Villa QPR. That's on a loan. Pusito coming from Watford to Sampdoria. Pikas coming from Fenerbahce to Hull. That was done a while ago. Sterling's gone to Chelsea's under 21s to Stoke. Who is this Burnley player you speak of? Hali Devologzu, is that the fella? He's come from Brentford to Burnley. That's on a loan. So yeah, Danny Rowe's been binned off, of course. What about some other major deals? I'm going to just check on the major screen here. Florian Adonde is 29 years of age from Brighton. He's a striker. He's been binned off by Brighton. They've let him go. It's strange that these deals get done now, you know, all these guys getting binned off and released. But anyway, jot down your own opinion about what's the biggest deal that's done so far. And right here, right now, we're going to bring on Jacob, if I can just find my right screen here. And we will just rechange that bad boy. And of course, welcome to the party. Let's talk about it. Let's get it out of the way. Looks like Diaz is staying put. Are you happy? Sad? Well, it's interesting.
I mean, I didn't realise that was the case, to be honest with you. I know Fulham have come in today with a bid that got rejected. But, I mean, yeah, I'm not really sure what to think about that. I mean, obviously, you know, if he's staying put, I think we all have to hope and pray that he signs a extra 1 year extension. I mean, obviously, we activated that clause, didn't we? Well, give us another year, what kind of saved us a little bit. But, I mean, I don't know. I struggle to think that we would keep him and not be able to get him to sign the 1 year. I think we'd be really silly to let it get to January. He's not signed a 1 year, and then obviously he can start talking to people and then walk out the door for free in the summer, can't he? Obviously he's free to do that when he's got 6 months left. So I don't know. I'd hope with obviously Greg coming in and he's handling all the business side of stuff, I would hope maybe there's some confidence we can maybe get another year out of Diaz. If he has another 20 goal a season year, it's only going to boost his price tag. Obviously it's going to do us wonders. And to be honest, Armstrong had 2 really good seasons for us and then he left, didn't he? Diaz has only had the 1. He might think it's best for him to have maybe 1 more year with us and then move on, which, to be honest, I don't think is the worst thing he could do for his career, to be honest with you.
No, I've just seen something here that it might not be completely dead and dusted for Diaz. It looks like Everton have made a final bid, 15 plus 5 million add-ons, but that's an unconfirmed report, so we will see how that pans out over the next 3 and a bit hours. So
if that is the case, that will be accepted. You would
if that's
think.
Legitimate, yeah, I'd say so. But I'll pretty much, let's actually go to a different screen here if I can do it here. It's, I think, this one. It'll just give me a minute while I move things around. But of course, the transfer window was billed to have maybe a bit more buzz than it has done for me. I think we've not really excelled in making it exciting tonight. The only one bit of business so far has been this fella right here today. Anyways, Clinton Mola, who is a young centre back-ish, the left-sided centre back, left wing. He's actually a bit of a Joe Rankin-Costello kind of carbon copy, but on the opposite end. He can play anywhere at the back there. Comes from Stuttgart in the Bundesliga, but also came through the Chelsea ranks. Do you know much about him? Are you happy about it? What's your initial take on that bit of business?
I mean, I can't claim to know much about him, but I hope I mean, like you're saying, he's a bit of a utility player, it seems, but I hope he isn't like JRC. I hope he's a bit better. Don't want any more experiences like that against Stoke. But I think he comes in and probably is back up to Wharton, you would think. He's left-footed, isn't he?
Yeah.
Seems like he can play that left centre-back role. Gives us another option at left-back. You know, Pickering was great last night, to be fair to him. Best game he's had this season, but other than last night, he has been pretty poor, I think, in most of the games. I don't think I'd be harsh in saying that. And also, from what you've shown on Twitter, Dirk, it seems he can play holding midfield as well, which is another position I thought we needed a player to come in for, obviously, after losing Bradley Johnson, Davenport. I really thought we were lacking in that position. I know we've got Garrett in the youth, who put a really good performance in away at Bradford, but Joe Rankin-Costello had a good game against Bradford and then stunk the place out against Stoke. So, you know, it's not obviously it's not the same level of opposition, is it? So we'll have to see, I guess, where he fits in. But I can't see him being a first teamer, to be honest. It seems like he's going to be more of a utility player to come in as and when needed, a bit like Edun has been, I would think.
Yeah, I think it's very similar traits to Edun. Of course, he plays on the left hand side as well. So this deal is a loan with the option to buy, kind of similar to that of George Hurst. We'll talk about him in a minute. I think that's the right strategy for Rovers right now. Not really going for gusto and spending the money for what could be a bit of a gamble. So again, like Zifuk last year when he was brought in on loan, and I recall the price being 3.5 million for Zifuk. I remember we did the podcast. I don't know if you were in that podcast, but people couldn't believe how much he was valued at, 3.5 million. They would think that's like way too high. So I don't know what the fee is for this fella, but he's of a good age, and again he has worked his way up the England ranks from the under 16s, even got an under 21 cap. So yeah, I'm pleasantly excited, and I'm happy that. Again, he comes from Germany, as in Stuttgart, but because of his English, background or his nationality, no work permit issues, easy peasy. Speaking of option to buy, George Hurst came in. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was before the game. It was announced against Blackpool. What's your early? I know we've not seen him play, not even seen him kick a ball yet, but. You can only go from what you know. What is your take on him so far?
Can't claim to have really known much about him before we signed him, but from what I heard, had a really strong second half to the season at Pompey. Really kicked on. The Pompey fans on the tweet we put out signing him were saying we've got a player on our hands if he plays like he did in the second half of the season. Obviously, it's a step up going from League One to the Championship. But hopefully he's up to the challenge. We've obviously got the option to buy, so he'll, play his socks off, you would hope, to try and get that move. But, I mean, we've got him on the right end of his form, obviously. If he'd have ended the season the way he started it, I don't think we would have been interested. But I think it's like 15 goals or something he got in the second half of the season. So... that's obviously a decent amount. So I'm not sure, to be honest. Obviously, he had his cameo in the Championship with Rotherham, but apparently he only started 2 or 3 times for them. And obviously, Rotherham are the battering boys every season, to be honest. So he's always going to struggle there when he's coming off the bench as well. He didn't score any goals for them in the Championship. So I don't think we can look into that too much. But it seems like a signing JDT's wanted to make up front. Apparently, from his time at Malmo, he had a long dangly striker up front who's gone to Rangers now, I'm led to believe. And this George Hurst comes in, he's 6'3", 6'4". Seems like he's going to be that sort of build. So I'm guessing it may be going back to, I think saw someone compare him a bit to Rudy Gestede, maybe whipping the balls into the box and seeing what we can do. So, I mean, Diaz obviously isn't a traditional winger who's going to be whipping it in, so he might not really fit John Dell's style of play, to be honest. So we'll have to see, I guess.
Yeah. Did we talk about Diaz already, or did we not? Did we talk about that? I can't remember.
We talked a little bit.
So let's just say that does that little bubbling going on, that it turns out to be something of some legitimacy, and it is likely to, if it does pan out and he goes to Everton, are we covered? Are we covered up front with this guy, Hurst? Or where are you going? You're all sideways on me. But yeah, would we be all right with just this guy Gallagher, or are we still a guy short? With Diaz we're good. Without him, do we need somebody else?
I mean, I'd have loved Josh Bowler. I'm shocked with that deal. The fact he's obviously Forest have bought him and then loaned him out to Olympiacos. I think it's really dodgy. I know the same thing happened with that Watford player who got bought by some Italian side and then they've loaned him back. It stinks to me that. I think they need to look into that. But Yeah, I would have loved Mola. I know he was shit last night, to be honest. He got pocketed, but, I think we all know there's a player in there. And to be honest, I think we do. I would have liked a replacement for Diaz. I think I would have liked another, wide player. Maybe not the same mould as Diaz, who's going to get you 22 goals a season or whatever, but just to replace him with a really good winger, because essentially you're obviously taking our best player out at the minute, and you then bring in Tyrese Dolan into the side, who has been a bit lackluster as of late for me. I'm starting to get quite infuriated with him, and I used to sing his praises. I loved him the season he burst onto the scene. Couldn't get enough of Dolan, but he's really started to get on my nerve as of late, to be honest with you. So I would have liked another winger to come in for sure. Hopefully we can have, that be the last signing. If Diaz goes and then we get in a Sirike Dembele, I'd be more than happy with that. I'd be made up with that. It was someone we were linked with in January. Might have wished he'd come to us now with obviously everything that's going on at Bournemouth, and he's not really had a look in, has he, since he moved. But he was absolutely quality for Peterborough, and when they come to Ewood, Peterborough, I said to my mate, he's some player in. You can just tell, obviously, when you see a player, and Peterborough were a poor side last season and he still stood out. He looked brilliant. I'd absolutely love him. And if you got to do what you got to do, and if we sell Diaz for 15 million and bring Dembele in, I think that's a great bit of business to me.
Yeah. Well, I think it's on pause. I think we're in for it. I'm just going from my gut. See no links here or whatever. Just Google him now. Just make sure he's not confirmed as a deal somewhere else. But I think those early rumblings this morning when they said we're after Dembele, I think they were on the fence of. I think we're ready to pay if Diaz goes. I think it could be a late Burma, and again, I know I've seen, and that's what kind of put a bit of a damper on the show here, is that it says that Rovers are done for the day or whatever. That's what I've seen out there. But I think if somebody comes in for 15 plus whatever for Diaz, then guess what? The lights have to come back on at Ewood Park, and they've got to get cracking and find a replacement. Who do I have next on this graphical display here? This guy. Can you see him? Who's that fella? It's Mr. Butterworth. Right?
I can't see
it's Dan Butterworth.
Anything.
Dan Butterworth, of course. We're now wandering over to the outs. No deal yet, but probably should be on his way out somewhere to a loan. I thought I saw Port Vale in League One. That's where he could be off. What's your synopsis on this fella Butterworth?
Be a bit ironic he's going to Vale when Vale's got him out of the team. I weren't convinced by Dan Butterworth at all. Everyone was singing his praises from the academy. He's meant to be this brilliant player, this, that and the other, and from what I saw last season, I thought he was lazy at times. Before he got his loan to Fleetwood, I remember him cameoing an appearance off the bench, and he just couldn't be asked to run. Basically, I think we were winning. With the opposition had us pinned back, and it's one of those games where you're trying to see out the last 10-20 minutes, and he just couldn't be asked to press. And at that point, I was just kind of like, "Nah, I'm done with you. If you can't be asked to run about, you've been brought on to bring a bit of energy and see a result out, and you can't be asked to do it, then I don't really have time for you." So. He didn't score any goals last season for us. He went to Fleetwood, and I have a mate who's a Fleetwood fan. I know he got a couple of goals, but I don't think he really did much for them either. He didn't sing his praises to me. To be honest, it's a shame really. It's a bit like Nuttall. He come onto the scene for us. He got a couple of goals, unlike Butterworth, but just never really made it. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if the same thing happens to Vale. Obviously, I hope that doesn't happen, but I was saying to my mate last night, I said, considering we've got Hurst now, I'd be shocked if Vale gets more than 2 goals this season. He's not going to be afforded many chances now. Obviously, he's had his fair share because Gallagher's been injured, and we didn't have Hurst at that point, but he's now got Gallagher and Hurst to compete with, so he's not going to be afforded that many chances, you've got to think. So he's probably going to be another season Vale. I can see another player. Sorry, Vale. I can see being loaned out next year, similar to Butterworth. To be honest.
Yeah, it could very well be the case. Just a reminder, 3 hours and 4 minutes left of the windows. Just bring in the chat here. A quick look here. Culture Cats is looking for Neymar at Ewood Park. He's not there. He's not there. So Holmes is there watching, of course, out in South Africa. With the black kids and the kid food. Yes, that's my best certificate. That's all I can do. Haben, of course, keeping an eye on us. Nice Steve says, I think Diaz will go to Everton tonight. And Tom Beresford is also in the house as well. So, moving on, who else do I got? It's your best favourite player in the whole wide world. It's Joe Rankin-Costello. Was linked to go, loan today. And it looks like he's staying put. How many lives does this guy have? And will we see him at right back again this season?
I think it took JDT to look at JRC. That's a bit of a tongue twister. And I think it only took 45 minutes of Championship football to realise he's not up to it. You know, I mean, the fact he subbed him off at half-time, which my mate pointed out, it's probably the 5th game in a row he's been subbed off at half-time, if you include in last season in the league. Because I think every single appearance he had for us, which he started last season, I'm pretty sure he got subbed off at half-time each and every time. And then for obviously, for Travis, who's our captain, holding midfielder, to then be put at right back for the Blackpool game, and obviously Buckley to be moved to right back for the rest of that game. So it's not a good look for JRC, is it? I mean, that is supposed to be his position. I don't think anyone knows what his position is. I don't even think Guy does, to be honest. But as far as I can tell, he's not a fullback. He's been really poor. I don't know whether he's someone who's more suited in a 5 at the back, as a wing back or whatever. But I remember there were certain people when I used to be at Rovers chat who'd tell me that bloody Rankin-Costello was better than Nyambe, and I never saw it. And I think they're probably eating their words now, because he just horrendous against Stoke. And I mean, I heard that he was supposedly getting that move, and you know, it's probably a move he needs, to be honest. He's never been out on loan. You know, I had someone trying to tell me the other day he played for us in League One. I think you saw that, and just it isn't the case. He come in that COVID season, started quite well. That's probably the best football he's played for us in that COVID season, but I don't know if it's the pressure or what. It just seems like he can't hack it in front of a crowd. I don't think I've seen him have one good game in real life, all of them watching on stream. So yeah, I would have liked for him to go out to a League One club, get a few minutes and come back and get one last chance, but he's not going to get a look in this season. He's probably going to play in the cup games, and then I won't be surprised if we ended up shipping him off next season, to be honest. I think he needed that loan move. He may get one in January. Might be something in the works there.
Yeah, and I don't know, you're a young lad. I don't know if you remember the Jason Lowe era. You know, I know it's kind of different kind of players, but you know, some people get given many lifelines and another chance to prove, and now here, John Rankin-Costello, been out injured for a crap load of time. I've got to give him that, but a new manager now to kind of show his talents off, and because of his long-lasting connections with the club, some people can get attached to him a little bit. And I was always hopeful that there was a player in there, and you know, and again, we are playing him in a position that I don't think is for him. But is he any good anywhere else? So I would like to see him go out on loan as well, but I don't think it's going to happen now.
To me, he's more of a traditional right midfielder, like in a 4-4-2. I think one thing I can give him praise for is some of the crosses I've seen him pull off in that COVID season were brilliant. He can definitely cross a ball. My mind goes back to the ball he put over at Coventry away. Well, it was St Andrews at the time, but put a ball over, and then Diaz went down and got a penalty. It was a peach of a ball. Like he seems he can pick a pass, pick a cross, but I just question his ability defending. I don't rate it at all, to be honest. I think he's a liability. I think pretty much every game he plays, he gets a yellow, and it's just not what you need in your back four, really, is it? So I think to me he's more of a traditional right midfielder. I don't see him being a midfielder or an inside forward either.
No. But breaking bloody news coming at you now. It is confirmed. Butterworth is out. He is off to Port Vale. The Rovers Twitter feed has confirmed that. It is on the screen. Well, it was on the screen. It just dropped down there. So we broke it to you first, babies. No one else. So Butterworth is a goner, and that's probably it for him. I think he's toast. I think the deal, I don't know. I don't know if it's the loan through the end of the year, but regardless, that's him done and dusted in a Rovers jersey. Let's bring up to date with the guys in the chat. The Mexican Sniper, also the Mexican Rovers in the house, Alejandro Tapia, of course. It has been a long time. We do need to connect, of course, for the World Cup, so I'll be catching up with you. Alex Holmes, the South African, says Rankin-Costello, with emphasis on the wanking. We got JLC needs a loan, that's Haben. Of course, Nave Steve says, a source at Everton are saying they've offered 12 million for Diaz. I've just seen that has been shot down, so that latest Everton bit is not happening. We've got also Shane Lomax. Do you reckon we will sign anybody? I don't think we'll sign any. I don't think we're going to sign anybody else unless Diaz goes, and I think if Diaz does go, then we're going to bring in Dembele, who's probably waiting in his car outside Ewood Park to come in. I think he's been told that you're 90 or like. We got to wait. It's like the domino effect. Tapia says, no, Shane, not just a couple more hours, but defo we will need some right back. Whatever that means. Okay, so we have 2 hours and 58 minutes left. I also want to stress here, guys, while I'm here, that you can, of course, still, if I can get the bloody thing on the screen, don't forget to do a bit of votage. The voting does close this Sunday, so get in there and vote. Cut your vote Roverseas. You could do us. You could make us an absolute. You can give Jacob a night out here, now, and Alexander. They can meet in the flesh. And of course that will put a big smile on my face, getting the guys together for a night out and reward all their efforts, of course. So do that. We're not trying to win it, we just want to get our name read out, Blackburn Rovers, and then next year we're going to take over the fucking world. That's right. So get in there, get voting. Also, I want to tell you, we're going to try something a bit wild in about 2 hours time, where we enter the final hour of the window. We're going to have a Twitter space. And you guys, I'm putting my belief in you guys that you're not going to swear or not do anything stupid, but then we're going to have your chance to speak. It's untested. We don't know if it'll work. I'm thinking there might be a bit of a feedback issue, but we will play around. Why not? Why shouldn't we not play around? We'll give it a go. So make sure you get involved with the Twitter space, and then we will get you live on the YouTube as well. So bringing back the Meister himself. Where are you? There you are. So Jacob, no surprise really. Butterworth done and dusted, gone. Van, like you said, Vale has ousted. It's official. Vale has ousted him from the lineup. Any takeaways from that?
Sorry, I was just going to ask what league of Port Vale are they?
They're League One. They got promoted last season, so they are playing up against Sheffield Wednesday. Some decent opposition. I don't think they've started off well though.
So similar sort of team really he's gone to there, because obviously Fleetwood were down there when he made that move. What, to be fair, might not have been the best environment for him to go into, but obviously some players thrive on going into that sort of environment, some don't. It seems a similar sort of move, doesn't it? Going to a team who's going to be struggling. So I wish him all the best, but yeah, I think like you said, I think that's it for Butterworth. Getting them mixed up now, but yeah, Butterworth at Vale. I think that's done for him now. I can see him getting shipped out on a permanent next season. To be honest with you, it depends. If he has a 20-goal a season, he comes back full of confidence. It's done wonders for Carter going out on loan to Burton and Pompey, but I don't know. There's just nothing there to suggest that there's a player there for me. Whereas with Carter. During the COVID season, you could kind of see something with there, but you just knew he weren't ready. But speaking of Carter, he looked brilliant against Blackpool. He looks like a man now.
Yeah, I was very happy with him, very happy with Adam Morton, of course. Fantastic, both of them. I think, we'll talk about, we'll go into a bit of the game tomorrow or for Saturday as well. It's going to be interesting. As soon as we get back to fully fitness, of course, Ayala was out. I think this game against Bristol City, they are flying high as well, doing better than I'd imagined. But this will be a much more difficult game, even though it's at Ewood Park. No disrespect to Blackpool, but yeah, if we can see the same sort of stuff we saw from those guys, the Carters, the Whartons, on Saturday, make sure it was a fluke, then we might have some real gems on our hands. But yeah, did you go last night, or did you watch from the box, from the home?
No, I went. I was there. Paid my £25 and was let in 10 minutes late. It's an absolute shambles at that ground. I've been there 2 years in a row now, and they just don't know what they're doing, to be honest. On the doors, everyone were bloody complaining. You know, I feel for the people they paid £30 to go and watch the team, and they're getting let in 10 minutes late. So it's a farce, to be honest. But and then at half time, I don't know if you saw, Dirk, bloody. There was basically a garden fence in between the Blackpool fans and the Blackburn fans. So there was a lot of portaloos, what the Blackpool had nicely put out for Blackburn fans to use. And there was a burger van, and there was literally a garden fence in between where the Blackpool fans were all drinking and us. So as you can imagine, it didn't take long for bottles to start flying over. Yeah, I even saw a bar stool get chucked over from the Blackpool side onto our fans. So I were queuing up for a piss, but I thought I'd hold it after that started happening.
Oh gosh! But so you missed the goal. So you didn't get to see the Diaz goal because you were 25 minutes behind.
No, I actually, thankfully, I got to see it. If it had been about 5 more minutes, I would have missed it. So I'm very glad I got to see that. The fans went mental. It was a brilliant atmosphere, and considering out of the 4 oppositions we have in this league, Blackpool's meant to be the tamest out of the lot. It was a brilliant atmosphere, and you know, really like fans giving each other shit and stuff, which you obviously want to see in a derby, and you could just feel the tension. The last 10 minutes were really nail-biting stuff. Just knowing what Rovers are like, I thought we'd chuck it away and, you know, we'd have pie on our face. But no, brilliant atmosphere, brilliant pass from Dak. He looks back to his best in that game. I was really happy with him, really impressed. He was gagging for the ball, like begging for it constantly pretty much, and a brilliant assist with his weak foot as well. Just oops his class, doesn't he? You just can't teach something like that, and it's something he'll always have, even though his legs have gone a little bit. He's still got that class, hasn't he? So a cool finish from Diaz. So really happy with the performance, and like you said, a few star men from our academy shining, and it's the one thing that's going to get us out of this league, really. I think we're never going to have the spending power to, you know, buy our way out the league like Bournemouth did last season or whatnot. It is going to be our Cat 1 academy, bringing the players through, them doing a job for us, selling them on, and hopefully like your Adam Whartons, your Carters, they could grow into be 10, 15 million pound players. You're not having to buy these players, you're just growing them yourself. So it's the only way we're going to get out of this league, in my opinion, and I think we're going the right way about it, bringing JDT in. And he said from the very start, I know he wants to promote youth, something I always felt Mowbray was a bit reluctant to do, but he has no qualms in, you know, putting Adam Wharton in the team, does he?
No, that I tell you what, I was a little nervous with him when I saw the name on the sheet, but whew, I tell you what, Buckley got a lot of fanfare when he broke on the scene a little bit, but oh my gosh, I tell you that Adam Wharton was had a debut to remember, and I am thrilled that he's a Rovers man through and through. From, you know, because Buckley was a cast off. I think he was a cast off from either Manchester's academy or someone else's academy. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember, but. It's like Travis. Travis was at Liverpool originally. His academy. Then we picked him up, kind of like what we did with Dolan a little bit, and then gave him the breakthrough. But Wharton is straight down the middle, a Rovers player. But also, let's segue into something that's kind of died down a little, and hopefully will be confirmed. I hope tomorrow or very soon. I just added this guy in there, Ashley Phillips, of course. So there was the rumour Spurs were about to gobble him up. And it looks like that's died down, and I did see something posted by a journalist or something, 99% done, so there's a 1% left to get this signature for him to sign on professional terms, sign on to remain at Rovers and not be another key figure, key asset, sellable asset that could be gobbled up for peanuts. So this would be my signing of the season if we were to get it. I don't think the Diaz extension will happen, no way, as much as I'd love it. But if we can get this guy done, signed for a professional deal, keep him on the books for 2 years and then sell him, we could get 15, 20, even more than that, considering the likes of Ben White, I know, went from Brighton to Arsenal for funny money. I think we could get decent money for this guy if we can sign him down for a professional deal. What is your take? You've been there, you've seen him in the flesh, right? You've seen this kid in the flesh, Phillips. What is he the real deal? Or what's your take on him? From what you've seen?
I mean, yeah, I mean, there's not really much more I can say than that. Just, yeah, he is. I mean, he's 17. You wouldn't think it. He looks like a grown man. I can't believe, I wish I was built like him at 17. That's all I'm gonna say. But no, I mean, he looks like a man out on the pitch. You're comparing him to players at this level. He's not there yet. He's got to be said. Like, people were begging for him to come into the team this season, give him a chance, this, that, and the other. He isn't there yet. He isn't the finished article. He struggles in the air a little bit, which, considering how big he is surprising. But he has struggled in the air a little bit when I've seen it. But seems he can hold his own. He's not been bullied, I don't think, by. He was up against Carl and Grant against West Brom and dealt with him quite well. I think some teams have tried to target him a little bit. I think a League One move would do him a whole load of good. I think, obviously, with getting Hyam in, now we've got another player in Mola who can play at centre-half. We've obviously got Ayala, Wharton, Carter. I don't think he's going to be afforded too many more chances this season. He'll probably get a couple of games in the Cup. And, obviously, if our terrible injury record strikes again, we will see him feature again. But I would say he's the last choice out of the options we've got. I'd rather see Carter play ahead of him, and obviously all the obvious ones, Ayala, Wharton, and whatnot. So, yeah, I think it's definitely something we should do. It's quite similar to Phil Jones, I think. We got 20 million for him off United. I know that's a decade ago, so if you're going off those terms, we could be looking at maybe 25 million for Phillips if he has similar levels to Jones, but I know that was obviously in the Prem. Jones was doing it, so I don't know. We'll have to see, but he's not there yet. I'd say he's a League One player at best at the minute, but for a 17-year-old, that isn't a slight on him at all. He just isn't someone who should be starting for Rovers, and the fact we have had two is just showing how threadbare we've been, I guess, hasn't it?
Yeah, I agree. I think with the reinforcements we've got in there, I don't think we were meant to be putting our hopes on him, but if we can get him signed up. I don't know what the deal is with loans now after the window shuts, if it's too late to sort that out, or will we keep him with us till January, then maybe give him a short loan, and then who else? Who do we have left? And then next season, maybe next season kind of put him up there towards the top end of the pecking order, maybe. I'll be with you in a second here. We're going to change subject a little bit. We've got some people in the chat. It says Joshua Billingsley said, can you see if Sunderland signed any players? Because we're going to talk about Sunderland and Mr. Mowbray in a second, about your thoughts on his change of, or his new role. But I'm going to try and bring you bang up to date with what I've seen so far. So the Burnley have made two signings today, just in case you're interested. Hallie Divock from Brentford to Burnley, but they've also brought in Jordan Bayer, centre-back from Mönchengladbach, my German team. Actually, is born just next to that, well, not stadium, it's just new, but where, not far off of that. They were linked with Van Heck as well, so I'm glad they didn't get him and tarnish his reputation. So, they picked up that guy. Matty Virtue's gone from Blackpool to Lincoln City. We did talk about the Stephen Humphreys deal. That's gone to Hearts. I don't think there's been much more stuff bubbling in the Championship. What about overall as a whole? I'm trying to do a bit of a refresh here. Close that one. But I did trying to see for the fella there for Sunderland deals. if I can see, maybe if I just punch that in here, see what we got for Sunderland. Give us a second. But of course, Tony Mowbray is back. If you are still with us, Sunderland fan, let us know what you thought about Mr. Mowbray and how he how his debut got on. I'm just checking, bringing him up. I'm doing this just for you, Joshua Billingsley. I'm doing it just for you. I'm just trying to find transfers. So Amad Diallo is the big one, the standout. That's a mega loan signing. And I'm sure Mowbray will claim it as one of his own, but I'm sure that was done before he got there. He also brought in Abdullah Bar from Le Havre. That was a bit of money on that one. Leon Jaku for Union Berlin. Again, a lot of these might have been done beforehand. Jordan Clark, of course, big money move as well. 10 million, I think. Ellis Sims has started off like a house on fire. Jack Diamond. That's so realistically, no. That's the answer you're looking for. No, you've not done any more signings. So let's bring the Jacob Meister back, of course. So we've had 5 years of Mowbray, and it looks like Boxing Day-ish. I don't know when we're going to see him again for Sunderland. What's your reaction? Well, to be me, it's a made for him job, that, considering he was linked with Hartlepool of League Two as being right on the doorstep, but he's been given probably a gimme there. That's like with the fan base, you know. Yeah, I think it's a job. Of course, you got to disconnect from his Middlesbrough roots, but you know it's a no-brainer for him. But you're happy to see him back so soon, or do you pity Sunderland, or what's your overall vibe with that?
I believe we've got him October at home, and then it's Boxing Day away. When he signed for Sunderland, I was looking to see when we played him, hoping we had him in February, but it wasn't to be, unfortunately. Would have had a free win there, I guess. But no, I'm happy for him. I mean, I respect the man. I respect everything he did. I think every Rovers fan does. I think, obviously, you know, there's a bit of a bad taste in some of their mouths with, obviously, I think there was at least 2 times where we should have made the playoffs, and through, I would say, stubbornness in terms of not changing his formation, his way or the highway. You know, sometimes last season, the Derby game in particular, you know, there were things coming out, weren't there, that Dak managed give the team talk at second half, basically sent him out in a 4-4-2, and we were absolutely diabolical that first half. Went 1-0 down to a Derby side at home who, you know, playing kids, weren't they, and you know, didn't have any money to spend. We all know the situation they were in last season, and played us off the park. We're 1-0 up at half time, and we were meant to be a side pushing for playoffs, and then second half we come out like a house on fire because apparently Dak gave the team talk, put them into a 4-4-2, and we just suddenly could play. And Mowbray spat his dummy out. He didn't get off his chair the entire second half, looked miserable. Don't think he celebrated any of the goals, just sat there with his arms crossed. So I don't know. There were definitely, you know, hard times under Mowbray. I think there was probably about 20 times he should have been sacked if you go off like an individual game of, you know, like there were the runs, weren't there? I think like something ridiculous. We went 10 games without a win. It could have even been 14 or something. Like, and if you're going that long without a win, you know, you probably could say he should have been sacked at least 20 times, and probably would have been at most clubs, but I don't think we're in a position to be able to afford to just sack managers. I think we could have maybe pulled the trigger last season and maybe salvaged playoffs. You're bringing in someone, I'd say, like around March time, when I felt a lot of fans were thinking it was slipping away from us. Do you bring a manager in there and get a bit of a bounce? We could have maybe seen ourselves make the playoffs, who knows? But yeah, I think, you know, I can't question what he did when he come in, nearly kept us up. And if he'd have come in, you know, even a couple of weeks earlier than he did, he would have kept us up. I firmly believe that. Obviously, during League One, I think a lot of people tried to discredit him, saying that team should have walked the league, whoever was in the job. But, you know, nevertheless, I mean, he still did it. We got second, we come up, and then we were definitely the best team out of those 3 teams that come up. Had a solid season. And then after that, I think obviously when we were trying to kick on a bit, I think that's when the infurities come in a little bit with Mowbray. But a stubborn manager, but a manager who will stabilise Sunderland. He's on a 2-year deal there, and I can see him having his 2 years there. And if he gets them towards the playoffs in that second year, I can see him maybe giving him another year and then parting ways if he wasn't to make it.
Yeah, well, I think I was nervous. I was nervous. Well, I was nervous as a Rovers fan to think that Sunderland under Alex Neil could actually, break top 6. I thought they were going to be serious candidates. I thought they would have some bit money. I was surprised to see Alex Neil leave for Stoke. I think it's a step down. I think Sunderland are the better, bigger club than Stoke. And for Mowbray, I think it's a great move for him. And do I think they are in a stronger position with Mowbray than Neil? No, I think realistically, I think Neil is a great manager, and I think they would have finished higher with Neil than they will with Mowbray. But I still think they'll have an okay season. I think they'll be all right, mid-table, something like that. But so I've just seen a tweet by a reputable Twitter thing that had around about 500,000 followers saying that Diaz is going nowhere. So it looks like what are we now? What's the time left? We're about 2 hours and 38 minutes away from the deadline, and it looks like Diaz will be staying right now. Again, you never say never. You don't know for sure. Let's say he does stay, and it is agreed that there was no other business. I asked Alexander Haben this. If you were to grade this as a high school teacher or teacher from A to Z or A to F, what would you rank our transfer window, including, don't forget to bear in mind, the deals that happened over the summer, the players that we lost, and how we've replaced them. So what are your take on our window?
When you put it like that, because you think about the players we lost, Lenny Han, our captain, Joe Rothwell, one of our better players for sure last season, most assists for us last season, Nyambe, obviously first team right back, and then I think I'd probably give it a B. I mean, I think I've been quite happy with especially the Dom Hyam deal. I think that's not really a deal we've ever done, to be honest, like that. We've took someone off, basically someone who's in our position. I see Coventry as a team that are quite similar to us, really. A team that's trying to punch above the weight, try and make the playoffs. I know obviously they've had their troubles off the pitch, and they haven't had the best start to the season. But last season they looked quite the team, to be fair, didn't they? Drew with us at home and away. So I mean, it's a great signing. He's their captain, good age, what we needed. 26, brings a bit more experience to the side. You could tell he was just a more experienced head at the back yesterday, with quite a calm presence there, which is something we need, I think. And that's the best deal for me. I think that's definitely the best deal we've done. Britain, I think from what I've seen, is probably an upgrade on Nyambe. Probably isn't as defensively solid, but I think he offers a hell of a lot more going forward than Nyambe does. Morton seems a tidy little player. I think he's someone who could grow into the season. Definitely end the season better than he's playing now, and he's still playing at a decent level right now. And obviously with Mola and Hurst, it's yet to be seen how they're going to do, but I think Mola's obviously going to be a bit of a utility player, what I don't mind too much. And Hurst, if Hurst can get 15 goals for us this season, I'd have no qualms in paying that 5 million and taking him off Leicester. Hopefully he's the missing piece to JDT's puzzle.
Yeah, and indeed. I'm just going through the chat once again. Everton are talking more about James Garner, so it looks like that. Katie Hill says, I would be seriously concerned if we lost Diaz, and she wants to hear from the horse's mouth if he wants to stay. If so, work on a contract he's happy with. Shane Lomax says, do you think Diaz will stay? Yeah. Well, it looks like it. Looks like it now, and you got to go with what you got. Also, let's just remind everybody once again. Of course, I'm gonna try and do something a bit bizarre with this Twitter space. So if you can be available, jump onto Twitter. I will put the link on the screen later. Again, we're going to be here. It looks like we're here for a long haul, and it might not be much developments, but there is a development. It's a bit of a down, a bit of a kick in the bollocks. A player, if you do follow the brfcs.com forum, which is you gotta either be made of thick skin, and you gotta take it on a pinch of salt in there. Sometimes there's a lot of personalities. Some are good, some are bad, some are ugly. But there was a lot of hype that we may have an interest in Callum Styles. And of course, there was tweets earlier in the day linking us, Sheffield United, Hull as well. It looks like, bizarro world, he's going to Millwall, which I think is a strange move. No disrespect, but I think that's a stellar move by Millwall. They've of course lost Jed Wallace in the summer, and I think again he can play in the middle, he can play out left. A lot of people, there was a lot of hype by the so-called in the nose that we were close to a Styles deal. So looks like that was all smoke and mirrors as well. Let's bring Jacob back here, of course. So don't forget Twitter Space, where you can express your opinion on the transfer window. We're going to play around with that. It may end up being a nightmare. I'm not even sure how I'm going to actually technology-wise do this, but we're going to give it a whirl. So your JDT Saturday. Of course, Mr. Matey Boy Hurst has been here since this morning. Hyam as well played on thing. Give me your 11. Give me a start 11. Of course, with the assumption that Ayala's back. I don't know. How does the developments shape your starting 11 for Bristol City at home? So, what's your team?
Are we assuming Diaz is still going to be here too?
I guess for now I'm going to say he stays. He's here. I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, is Britain back from injury for Saturday?
I don't know. Let's say no. Let's just go off the side of no.
Mm-hmm. In that case, then, see, I don't want to put Travis at right back. Like, obviously, Kaminsky between the sticks. For me, Travis was the worst player on the pitch against Blackpool. To be honest, I think, obviously it's harsh because it's not his position, but he looked a liability at times, and I think a better side would have punished us for some of his mistakes. To be honest.
Wait! Whoa! 1 second. I don't want to interrupt, but wait. I'm not. It's not 100. But Sky Sports are saying that he's staying. Says that he's saying that was 10 minutes ago. I'd rather have it from Ewood. Sorry. Carry on. So it looks like he's staying.
No,
all the right sources are saying yes, he's staying, but the Rovers are not confirming or denying anything right now. So but carry on. Team.
Yeah, I'd. To be honest, I think I'd rather go Carter there. Yeah, and Ayala's still out. We're gonna say, yeah. Yeah, so I think I'd go Carter there. If this Mola's had if he's fit enough and feels JDT's confident in him, I'd probably go Hyam and Mola at the back. Two new signings at the back, which could be a bit risky, I guess. But let's see what they've got, I guess. Baptism of fire. So I wouldn't mind that. I think Carter can do a job at right back. He did a job at right back last season when called upon. I thought he was quite good at right back, to be fair, last season when he was needed. So I don't mind that too much. Give Hyam and Mola the chance at the back for me. Pickering at left back. And then I'd say go with the same two midfield. I don't think you can change that midfield. I think Adam Wharton definitely has to play. You were comparing him before to how Buckley burst on the scene, but for me, I think when Buckley burst onto the scene, I weren't convinced by him, to be honest. I thought he still looked like a bit of a boy, and the way you look at Adam Wharton, he still definitely does look like a boy, but he doesn't play like it. The way he played yesterday, you'd think he'd played 50 games for Rovers, wouldn't you? Never mind it be his first start. So, I think he's just, I don't know what he's having for his breakfast, but it seems thinks he's having something, but yeah, no, brilliant. So he definitely has to start. I'd put him with Morton again. I think Morton played a few too many risky passes for me, considering we were 1-0 up away. Passes that you don't really need to play unless you're chasing a game. But I think obviously that'll come with time, his decision making. But I think I'd start with him again. And then for me, I'd go Hedges on the right, Hurst up front, and Diaz on the left. Like I stated before, I'm starting to get quite infuriated with Dolan. I don't know. I just don't really get excited anymore when he comes on. I used to get really pumped up when he'd come on and know he was coming on and was going to impact the game. Drive at players, causing problems. It's the last thing a defender wants. Someone that fast running at you and so nippy. But I don't know. He just isn't doing that anymore for me. And at times as well, he just doesn't pass or shoot when he really needs to. And yeah, I'm not his biggest fan at the moment. So I'd chuck Hurst in as well, and I think Hedges and Diaz next to him, he'll be in good company.
Yeah. So you're giving the full debuts to all the new guys. So that is bold. But yeah, again, we gotta see what they like, see if they can cut their mustard as well, and be a part of something special. So again, we'll talk on Sunday with the podcast. We're going to record a podcast. But does today's developments with what looks like Diaz being here, you don't have to go too precise. You could save that for Sunday. But where do you see Rovers finishing this season? And has the signings done enough to convince you that? Because I thought, honestly, besides the Blackpool game, we've been pretty shit performance-wise. And I have been a little bit worried about, are we more going to be looking at the bottom half of the table or the top? But with the developments of Diaz appearing to at least sign, or not sign, but take that back, but appearing to stay, where do you think we'll be at the end of the season, roughly, ballpark?
I think you've been a bit harsh, to be honest, in terms of performances. I've got to say, I think QPR, we controlled that game quite well. I think QPR didn't show up, to be honest. They made it quite easy for us. I do have to say that, just like last season. They were crap when they come to Ewood last season. Swansea away was a brilliant game plan. I know we only had 29% of the ball or whatever, but I think we played it completely to our strengths. We're our counter-attacking team and pulled the pants down, essentially, didn't we? Away from home. And West Brom, I think we got a bit lucky there to get a win, I've got to say, but I think you've got to ride your luck against those higher quality teams. And, West Brom are, on paper, one of the better teams. So I think we kind of deserved a look in that game. There's no questions about, Stoke, Sheffield United, Reading, completely opposite, really poor, looked absolutely toothless going forwards, and didn't really do anything in any of the games, which was quite annoying, especially the Sheffield United one, after travelling all that way for basically to watch us go out for a 0-0. So yeah, I think I don't know. It seems like two different teams at the moment, doesn't it? But I think before we kicked the ball, I went for mid-table, and I think after what I've seen, if we keep Diaz, I would think we're probably going to finish somewhere similar to last season, probably just outside the playoffs, probably flirt with it a little bit. I didn't expect us to keep Diaz when I was making my predictions. Don't think anyone really did. So if we keep Diaz, I think, he's got 3 goals in, 6 games now, something like that. I think he's on course for another 20 goals a season. If he carries on, if he doesn't get injured, he'll definitely get 20 in my opinion. It depends how Hurst does as well. I think that's a really big factor. If he can get 15 goals for us, that could be the difference to me for making playoffs or not. It's all been down to one man, hasn't it, really, for the past few seasons. Diaz last season got injured and we were fucked. Before that, Armstrong, all down to him, and it just kind of made it quite predictable who we were running through. And I mean, just get marked out of games, 1-8 at times. So I think if we can have someone like Hurst come into the team and be another threat, I think that could be the difference for playoffs to me. So hopefully can hit the ground running and we can maybe squeeze in there. But I'm not holding my breath.
All right, just bear with me a second. So just to confirm, I think I might have had my times off. There's only an hour and a half left of the transfer window, I believe. I believe it shuts at 11. Maybe you can confirm that or deny that. So anyway, regardless of all that, in an hour and a half's time, we're going to go for the Twitter space, and you're going to be able to talk. If you guys watching, you can come on here. You know, it's past the watershed. You can swear. I'll allow you to swear, of course, and you can be as critical or as blunt as you like about Rovers transfer dealings, and get your take as well. So make sure you come back here around about once the window slams shut. So as soon as I hear the gong, we'll come back and we'll activate the Twitter space. It's still we've still got 90 minutes. We've got a football match until it kicks off. So yeah. So you optimistic that that's a bold statement, you know. I've always even with John Dodd Thompson coming in, thinking a transitional season, and yes, was of the same ilk, and I think we were all of the same ilk, and that's going to provide a good topic for Sunday's live podcast, which will be similar to this, just not as long as this, but to get everyone else's opinions about the Diaz deal and stuff like that. He will get goals. He'll definitely provide us some goals. As long as he stays fit, and maybe with a bit of a different approach, maybe we're not going to be garbage from February onwards, and maybe we can ride our luck a little bit longer than we did last time around. Signing of the season for you, out of the ones that we got, the Hurst, Morton, Britton, Hyam, whoever else we picked up there, Smodic, who gets easily forgotten about because he's only really flashed in the pan for like a minute, but. What's your?
I honestly completely.
Yeah, what's your signing of the season so far? Unless there's something else coming.
Yeah, I mentioned before, but I'd say Hyam. I think to weaken a side who, like I mentioned, is a team around our level. I think a team that would have aspirations of pushing for playoffs in Coventry. To take someone who's a captain, a leader, someone who's experienced. Which is definitely what this team needs, and to have that at the back, which is always perfect as well. And obviously it was our main point of concern, weren't it? Centre back with, it's no surprise, Ayala's inevitably picked up his injury, and thankfully we had Hyam ready to come in and put in a good performance against Blackpool. So unfortunately that maybe similar to last season, once Ayala got injured and Van Eck come in, and he probably won't get his space back now until someone gets injured, and he'll be given his chance again, because I can only see Wharton coming into the team with Hyam, and then at that point I don't think when Ayala's fit and ready, I can't see JDT dropping Wharton or Hyam to fit Ayala in personally. So for me, I think that's definitely the best bit of business. It seems a really good price as well. I saw Coventry fans saying, he's worth 15 million to us, this, that and the other. Like, he obviously isn't worth that much, but when Coventry... but when Coventry fans are making such a fuss of it, and they were really pissed off, weren't they, that a rival club had come in and took their main man from the back, their best defender, as they were saying, and I think he's not like for like, but he's the Lenihan replacement essentially, isn't he? Lenihan being our captain leaving, and we've got someone else's captain brought him in, and seems from I put some stats in our group we have. He seems a different type of defender, centre back. What we don't really have, someone who's got loads of progressive passes, loads of progressive runs, something which I feel like Ayala and Wharton really lack. I feel like they're more old school centre backs, and if we can have Hyam, who's a bit more comfortable spreading the ball forwards, even running with the ball, taking the ball forwards, that's really good to me. He should complement Ayala or Wharton perfectly in that sense, and should help us a lot, because there's those times where we go 1 goal down, and we're there trying to break a team down, and we're just passing the ball sideways, backwards round the back, and maybe Hyam's that player we need who can ping a ball forwards or run with the ball forwards and help us unlock a defence, because a lot of the time that is the problem when we go a goal down. We're just passing the ball around the back and do nothing with it.
Yep. So, what else is bubbling around here? I'm just trying to see. The Callum Styles deal, which is what a lot of Rovers fans on the forum were hoping, is a loan deal, which is kind of, if we were generally interested, surely we could have been an option for that.
Loan to Millwall.
A loan to buy. So it's kind of a similar deal, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm feeling a little underwhelmed with the business. We are pinning a lot of hopes on our youngsters, a lot of hopes, and maybe it will all work out in the end. But yeah, I did run a poll earlier today. Let me just close that poll down now, and I will see the results of that poll. The poll was Rovers done in the transfer window. It's pretty even. Stevens down the middle there. 54% have said yes, 45% said no. So again, bringing it back up to the chat, we got John Parson in the house, and a lot of praise for the shirt. Yeah, of course, it's pretty dapper shirt. So James Hickman says, so what are the rumours for ins and outs? So he's just arrived. So I'll give you kind of a rundown of what we were linked with, but to be honest with you, there's not been many links, and we will go over a quick run of other players that we have brought in. So we of course completed yesterday George Hurst coming in from Leicester on a loan to an option to buy. People are rating him at a crazy figure of 5 million. What I'm looking at is more closer to the value of around about $1 million. So it's a bit of a difference in price. So hopefully the loan is, or the option to buy is a little bit closer. Well, in the middle there, maybe about 3. Also, Clinton Mola coming in from Stuttgart, also valued around about 1 million, 1.5 million. Again, English youngster. That's done and dusted as well. But we were linked with Sirki Dembele, formerly of Peterborough. It would have been a reunion of sorts with Schmodic, but that I think was just on sort of hindering on the Diaz deal, which looks like is going nowhere. It looks like it's shut up shop. We've seen the major Twitter accounts that have quite a bit of followings saying that he's going nowhere, so it does look like it's done and dusted. He's staying put. The outs, just Danny Butterworth is the only out, so I don't really know if we're going to do a loan show, Jake. I don't even know we're going to do a loan show because it's only him. Who else went out on loan? I think Tyler Magalori,
James Brown
went. Did Tyler? I think Magalori left. So there's only 2. That's a bit of a. See, that's what I was wondering, was that if the loan window shut, it closed different, or maybe we'll have to wait till January or something like that. Because two people, and Dan Butterworth will get no goals, so there won't be nothing to report there. So it's going to be a bit of a waste of time. So yeah. So all in all, I think you graded it a B. Yeah. So it's if we can get Phillips signed up, and maybe if there is a possibility of a Diaz extension, then that would make a really good window. Final take. What
would you give it? Well, what would you grade it? Because for me, I if we keep Diaz, I don't think we really could have done much more, to be honest.
If we kept Diaz, well, see. Having Diaz there, of course, for the season, which it looks like it could be for the season, is great. You're being a bit of talk about Council Mill, just reading up on this last couple of tweets that are coming through. Keeping Diaz, you're guaranteeing yourself 15, maybe more goals, hopefully 20 goals a campaign. He's got the confidence. He does look like he likes it, and it is the ball is in his court. He will have now a whole host of options to look at in the summer, whether he goes to the Premier League with another team or he goes abroad or whatever. So I am happy that he's going to be a Rovers player. I'm just for the fine. Like, I don't like the fact how much debt we have and the bigger deal. Like, I thought we were going to make a bit of money. But hey, if the owners are that confident and they're going to knock this bid back or these bids back, then fair enough. If this is their business, it's their money, whatever. So they knocking it back, fair dues. They're prepared to probably throw that 7 million down the shitter, and then kind of roll. I said roll the dice. I think it's a rolling the dice move. We are We are playing with fire a little bit. It could work in our benefit and get in the mix. And if we can get in the playoffs at the end of the season, not necessarily promotion, then I think it was a masterstroke. But if we just finish 8th, 10th, 12th, then we've just lost 7 million down the pan. But the fact that he's staying, and I would say, and it probably doesn't really revolve around the transfer window itself, but if Phillips does sign as well, then I will be that will cancel out. That will for me that will cancel out that 7 million loss. I think Phillips signing will bring the naysayers like myself about the fact that we're not selling the thing. Will give us back a bit of plus points. So for me, I'm a bit vanilla. I think we are gambling on a lot of tried and untested players. We're bringing in George Hurst. Did okay last season, League One. It's an exciting prospect. There's some stats in there. His height is good, and I think he's of a good age. And I think a lot of people are giving him a hard rap for his season in Rotherham. I think it's going to be different this time. I think he will score, and I don't think he's going to run away with it. But I think there'll be enough there to give us a conundrum in the summer. Then we're going to be left with, do we go for it or don't? I don't think it's going to be a stonehold. He's shit. We're not going to bother with him. I like the Mola deal. I think that's a great addition. Left-sided, left-footed. I think that's a good bit of business. If Wharton does have another injury, which he will, or suspension, which he will, we then can have. That's why I was a little bit down in the dumps, like a little smidgen down in the dumps that the Corker deal didn't get through because he was left-footed. But I think realistically we got a better player. I think we got a more younger, hungry kind of player who will fill more slots when needed. So I'm going to say, I think someone actually called it. James Hickman said there's a B negative. I'll take a B negative on that. A low B. Smodic. Well, we'll see how he pans out. Anyway, so what we're going to do, so B minus. Jacob, I want you to take a break, go get some glass, drink something, go chill out. I've got Philly Rovers who's going to come in for a few minutes. We'll get him in, then we'll get Haben back in, and then I don't know. Then we're going to try hopefully for the whatchamacallit, the whatever it's called, the space. We will be back. So appreciate it. You've been a fountain of knowledge and great opinion. We love it. We love it. And of course, I'll be in touch tomorrow with whatever. But we'll catch up in a bit. So, any closing comments?
When do you want me? I was just going to ask, when do you want me back?
I don't know. In about not long, about 15, 20 minutes. Oh, well, hang on a minute. We've got an hour. We've got an hour and some. So half an hour or so.
Right. Okay. No, I look forward to it. Should be good. But yeah, I think we've got a lot to look forward to if we're keeping Diaz this season. I talked about on one of the previous podcasts. You look at what Barnsley did, getting Ishmael in. Sometimes a foreign manager can come in, put his style on the team, and just kind of work. They were literally, minutes away from getting relegated. Then Ishmael comes in, completely turns him around, and they end up being a playoff side. It's early doors for John Dale Thomason. I think we've seen glimpses of what this team can do. I think we've also seen, this team can also suffer at times as well. So I think the best is yet to come. Obviously this season, I think, obviously it's still early days. We've got to grow into the season. The season starts from now. Really, we know what our team's going to be. We've got our players. We're settled, and just take it from there, I guess. And I think we'll go from strength to strength. And I think any Rovers fan would have took the position we're in now at the start of the season, to be honest. I think we've had a really rough run of fixtures, to be honest. A lot of those games last season we lost. Like Stoke at home. I know we've lost it this time, but we lost it last year. Blackpool away, we lost last year. We've managed to win this year. So I think, and even the fixtures coming up, Bristol on Saturday, we lost last year. Bristol at home, didn't we? So it's been a tough run, to be fair. So I think better days are to come, and I think there's reason to be excited, but I can understand why you're a bit apprehensive as well with what you've seen, especially in the 3 previous games. But I think last night was proof that we still can be a quality side. We played Blackpool off the park, and I think it's just taking our chances, really. I think we should have been 2-3-0 up. and ultimately we weren't, and we could have cost us in the end.
Yeah, good overview again, Jacob. I really appreciate it. So we'll move you on for the time being. Again, catch you back in a little bit. Go get a snack or drink or something. I'm going to bring in the wild child now, and that is, of course, Pete from Philly Rovers, who has been waiting patiently in the lobby. How are you doing, Mr. Pete? How are you? You look less stressed than you were last night. Can you hear me? You haven't got the mic clicked in yet. We'll give him a minute. He's just putting on his tie or his shirt. He's just getting ready. How are you? Can you hear me, Pete?
Hey, what's the word there? What's the word?
The word on the street is that I've got to change your name here. We've got to get rid of that, and we've got to put your actual name on there for the world to see. Pete, of course, was doing a fantastic job filling in for me yesterday. It was brilliant. Let's give you a round of applause. And we did love the impersonation of me, but the wife was like, "Oh, really? He's taking the years off you. So it looks like we are keeping the Chilean sensation. What do you think about that?
You know, I think I thought after last night it was a done signed deal and delivered with that goal. I thought we were going to have calls coming out the wazoo. I thought that that replay was going to go berserk all over the world of last night's goal, and we were just going to get calls all over the place, and it was going to top 20. I was getting ahead of myself a little bit last night there on the show, but it doesn't look to be so, and we have now the whole Chilean fan base behind us still, and they'll stay on board, and I think it'll be it could be all the way to January, and we'll see now where we stand at things, and if we can get some more goals, get some more dubs with Mr. Diaz at the helm, we can benefit. I think unfortunately it didn't come through with the Fulham Everton. I will say this though, hour left to go. I think GB is a bit of a showman. He's come in, and yesterday he made a deal 2 hours before game time. So I think he knows he wants to build a little bit of a buzz, and you never know what will happen here in this final hour. He's just started this job, and he's come in now, and he's trying to put his stamp on things, and we might see something here happen in this last hour. He might be just saying, hey, there's no deal, but if that phone rings and there's big money on the table, somebody might give him that call. We might see something here. There's still time, and things can come down to the wire here, as we all are aware, and it could be a fun last bit here to go. But yeah, George Hurst yesterday, right before the game time, and I think he's got some familiarity with Nigel Pearson there on Saturday versus the Robins, so we'll see him starting the game, and it should be go time. Dom Hyman doing good last night, and the guys are stepping up to the plate, so hopefully it continues now going into Saturday. But yeah, I think we might want to keep our notifications on for Blackburn Rovers Twitter handle for this last bit here on. I think it's 11 p.m. I think I thought it was midnight as well. So I know we're really getting close now.
Yeah. Yeah, into the 1 hour and 6 minutes left. We were a little bit active this morning. I woke up and looked like pretty much straight on the money. We brought in a young guy from Germany. His name is Clinton Mola. I don't know why I'm saying Bowler, but Mola. He can play pretty much anywhere at the back there. He can play in defensive midfield. Happy with that, Pete?
Yeah. I mean, well, he's got some younger international background there. He's made some big caps, and he's going to be. I think he's going to come in, and I think they've done their homework here a bit. I think might not be too well known to some of us, but I think we'll be. I think it's going to be good. I think things are coming into play, and I think Butterworth going out on loan. That's all right there. No worries there. I think the fan base, we all wanted to hear some JP Van Heck news coming through. That really would have got us all going. That would have been awesome. We got to give it to him. It's been a good first transfer window for both GB and JDT. So I think, it's still early days on this. These guys behind the scenes in Brockhall there. So I guess the Venkies are backing them now, and we'll see how much so maybe going back into January and next. Hopefully, we can make a run of things.
Yeah. Also, just comment in the chat here. Naive Steve said, "Good for Rovers. Chile didn't qualify for the World Cup. That is good news. Of course, if he was involved, it would have been nice. But picking up an injury at the World Cup, it would have damaged our front line. And when you look at it, of course." A lot of teams in the Championship, they have got the majority of the puzzle complete, but they're looking for that striker that can score 15, 20 goals. We already have him now. He's here. He can do that. He did it last year. He's okay. He's up and running as well now. So, as much as my little tweet out there saying that it's a bad business move, but it's a good football move. Where if everyone's content and on the same page that we'll just throw that money away and take a gamble on this, then fair play. But for me, I'm happy that he's here and he can add some more goals potentially this season. So what else? George Hurst, you mentioned it briefly. New guy. Does he get into the team Saturday, do you think?
He's got to make a start. He's familiar with Nigel Pearson, and he's got to come out and say, "Hey guys, I know the story here, so let's put it to the mark in there and let's get me right off the bat and come on in and say hello to my old. I think they were both in Belgium at one point together.
Leicester.
And Leicester. So I think he's going to want to be on the stage, and he saw Don Hyam step up last night there, so he says, "Hey, I'm now a Rover. I'm now one of the team. Send me in, coach. Send me in. Let's go, JDT. I'm ready to play. You brought me in here for a reason. Let's score some. Let's get it going. Let's make it 2 in a row, and start the post transfer window off with a bang." And I do think that Mr. Steve there comment there for BBD, I think, you'd think the Premier League teams, they would like a guy who isn't going to be playing in the World Cup, that's going to get some rest and going to be fresh coming off the World Cup, because they're all going to have their guys going off on the international stage, and it's just going to be nonstop for them, whereas he would be somewhat more ready to go and a man with a mission. But he is ours. You can make that comment today, but he's going to be. We're all Blackburn Rovers here tomorrow, and we're going to be here with ready to go and climb the table and get back to where we were 2 or 3 games ago. So.
Indeed. Okay, so Pete, you were there yesterday. Of course, watch along. Fantastic debut, by the way. You smashed it out of the park. In amongst your chitter chatter, who stood out for you yesterday in the Rovers team? Who came away with their stock high? Who came away with their stock no move? And who was garbage yesterday, in your opinion?
Yeah, you gotta go with Mr. Wharton, the young lad, is making his first start there. It was. I thought I was pointing it out there, but then I, got on Twitter after the game, and I thought, if I'm seeing it, then everybody did see it, and it was all, everybody. He was trending, and I was behind on that there, and he was the man. He got the man of the match, and most deservedly so. He was on point, and that family must be very proud, and it'll be nice to get Scotty back and playing, and it'll be quite the duo. So I think we got to give mad props to Mr. Wharton there for his day and his debut as a starter there yesterday. It was very good, and there's been a lot of talk today. So I think we're lucky as Rovers now to have him there ready to go. These young guys, some of them are coming in, and it's awesome. You had Ashley Phillips, and he made his mark, and it's a good time. They can play, and they're making their time of it. They're stepping up and they're coming through when we need them.
Indeed, indeed. Okay, one more, because I know you're a busy man. So, how would you grade Rovers' window today? If you were a teacher, and we're going to go from grade it from an A to a superstar fantastic window, all the way down to an F, which would be a train crash of a window. What is your synopsis of it?
Yeah, I like it. I would say about a B plus. I'm not. I wouldn't mind a little action here in this last hour. I wouldn't mind one more signing here, as or some more business. But I like the buzz. I like us getting our name out there. I like us doing something that matters. So that's why I would say, I think, you never know here in this last hour. TikTok, 60 minutes to go, final countdown. You never know. But definitely B plus. I think they did say what they wanted to do, and they did it. And I think everything's their people are the word. I know we gave a little bit of grief the last week or so with Ask Greg, and there was a lot of commotion there. Where is Greg? All this stuff. He was like Carmen Sandiego at one point, and it was. But he's come through, and I think we're on track here. We're on track. We're on point. So we got to give him credit where credit is due, and B plus for me there.
B plus. All right. So I think for the most part we had Alexander's a grade. I think he gave us a C. I think Jacob was more in line with you there. I'm a B minus myself, but it's progress. Definitely filled in the blanks. Any closing comments before I let you get back? Because I think you're at work. Let you get back to your office there. Any closing words before of course the window shuts?
No, I just want onward and upward. Rovers on Saturday. Let's go. Let's keep the momentum going. Let's build on it, and hopefully we can take it to the Robins on Saturday. I'm just excited for the next game at hand. Transfer windows close and shut. Let's move it on to the next thing, and the next thing is game Saturday. Let's focus.
Let's focus. Game day indeed. Appreciate it. I'll let you get out of it, Pete, and I'll catch up with you over the next day or so. And again, you're off the clock for a little bit. You don't have to do the watch along until Watford. I think Watford. So you're good game. Appreciate it, Pete. So catch up with you later. Alexander Haben, if you're there, you are meant to come into the Zoom, so get in there now. So I'm just reaching out to Haben wherever he is. He's probably on the toilet. So we are now down to the final hour of the transfer window, and how have I managed to keep this show alive with an hour and a chunk of change left? So what's going to happen in an hour's time? The gong will go off. There will be no actual gong, but the gong will go off. And then the window will slam shut. But then automatically opens up the Twitter space where you, of course, we're talking at Craig W, Nat, Katie Hull, Black Eye, Naive Steve, James Hickman, John Parson, whoever's out there can, of course, get your voices out through the Twitter space. Again, this is untested. This could be a phenomenon. It might spurn a YouTube trend of people doing joint Twitter spaces and YouTube streams at the same time. Or it'll be a train wreck and it'll just be me and Alexander just talking, of course, as we wrap up the window. And he is here. He is live. He, of course, had a chance to relax, unwind. And, of course, since you've been gone, it looks like Diaz is staying put. Oh, you're not Pete. I've got to get that changed for starters. You're not Pete. Let's get that off. You've actually got your name tag right there, so let's change that up. So, Alex, what have you been up to this past little bit?
I wasn't on the toilet.
I'm just teasing. I should be on the toilet right now.
What have I been up to? I've been closely following everything that's been going on in the world of
it's
Blackburn Rovers.
Not much going on, to be honest with you. It's been a bit of a snooze fest. I think our only bit of business really today was done early doors, which some teams like it like that. Some people, but the real deal is the Diaz stays. What do you think about that? What is your overall takeaway from that news?
I think we would never replace him with the same caliber of player. I just think that would be near enough impossible. So from that point of view, I'm really happy that he stays. I just hope we can get him on some kind of contract that makes it safe in terms of us not losing him for nothing, further down the line. I'm hoping there's room for manoeuvre. There's still some room to manoeuvre with that, and that can happen. But in purely looking at the team and looking at where we want to be, obviously we want to be in the playoffs. So looking at, are we going to do that with him is possible. Would we do it without him? I'd say it's far less likely. So from that point of view, I'm really happy that he's staying. So
yeah. Just got some other news coming at you. Doesn't really involve us, but involves other teams in the Championship. Cardiff City has signed Callum Robinson, formerly of Preston. I think Preston were looking at him as well. He's 29, I think, now, so he's added to their ranks. They've been very, very busy this window, bringing about, I don't know, it's kind of like the Nottingham Forest, really, of the Championship, really bringing in anybody. I'm just checking it out here. Any other bits of it? I think West Brom are happy to offload him. Rovers, and a tweet coming out from Rich Sharp. Rovers happy with the business. Also, numbers have been boosted by the emergence of some other players. Phillips, Wharton, Garrett and Vale. The return of fitness as DAC, increased involvement for January recruits Mackinday, Hedges, plus the return of loan from Carter. So that's true. That is true. Let me bring on the graphical stuff here. I didn't do this with you, but I'm going to go with this. I don't think you can see it, but this is for the guys watching at home. So we're looking at a picture of Clint Mola. Hang on, we should be. There we go. We'll grade him 8 between an A and of course an F. Where would you rank him as a signing individual now?
Mola. He hasn't played a lot for Stuttgart, but it looks like he's got a lot of potential. He's a youth product of Chelsea, so I've got no reason to think that he's not a good player. So I think for his potential, I'd probably go with a B. Probably, yeah. I'd say he's not proven, but he's played for Stuttgart, but he hasn't played a lot of games for Stuttgart. So, I think he's got the potential to be a good player. He's young, so it's very difficult to say. It's difficult to really give him a grade, but I think potential-wise, I'd say about a B.
Well, actually, so I just brought him up. I was curious to see how many games he's actually played. He has played, I think 9, but they were actually when they were in the second tier of German football. So he hasn't played for Stuttgart at top level Bundesliga. So that might be an indication of a kind of what player he is. He might not be at a top end of the Championship sort of scale. So it's going to be interesting. Maybe he will. I'm excited by it, and I'm hoping that it turns into something more than just a loan. James Hickman's gone with a C+. Black Eye's gone with a good B for him. Katie Hull, has gone with a B as well. So this is fun. I like this, guys. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get... Shoot.
Okay. Well, now you say it was not the top level. I mean, does that equal Championship level, the second tier of German football? I
don't know. I think it's the top end of the second tier will probably be the low end of the Championship. I'd say it's probably on right. It's probably on point. But he only played, like you said, they only played 9 games for Stuttgart in the second tier. So, it's probably at his level. It's probably at his level, I think.
He's young. I think he's got the potential to be a good player, definitely.
Yeah, so we're turning back to the chat. Andrew Lazarwitz, cool name right there. He's gone with a B+ as well. And now Steve's chipping in with needs to get Diaz signed up on an 18-month contract. Let's move on to the next one here. Of course, it is young George Hurst, loan shit in the Championship for Rotherham. Did okay last season for Portsmouth, scoring goals as well. Loan, tall, lanky. Kind of like a Gallagher 2.0 maybe, but what's your if you were to grade him, and again in the chat, get in amongst it, grade it from an A all the way down to an F.
Okay. I'm optimistic about him. I really am. I just feel like he's done it. 15 goals for Portsmouth towards the end of last season in League One. I just feel like there's potential there, and I reckon it'll probably take him a while, but he could be a B. He could be a B. Might be a C initially, but with the potential to be a B.
Okay.
So probably I don't expect him to just come straight in and score a ton of goals, but I think if he's got that many in League One, in like half a season for Portsmouth, I think there'll be goals in him. So as long as we play to his strengths, I see no reason why he can't be good. He's come through Leicester's youth system.
Okay.
Optimistic
about that.
Optimistic. I want to see him play. I want to see him start, and I'll give you my team for the next game if you want.
We'll have a look at that in a minute. We're on fire here right now. We got some chat about that in the box here. We've got James Hickman says a B. Black Eye's gone with a C plus. Somebody said an E. I think Nat, who is in League One with Sheffield Wednesday, says nothing special there. Craig W with a C minus. Black Eye with a C plus as well. Katie Hull with a B as well, and he says has potential, sexy, creative angle, and I would grade him as a B. We're not going on for the looks, but we're going on for the skills. Okay, and now we're going to go back a little bit. Now we're going to go check out this fella, big bad boy Dominic Hyam. What is your rating of that guy?
Right. Well, on his first game, I can't fault him. Or just on his first game, I'd give him an A. But obviously, you know, I can't rate him beyond that. But the first game he played against Blackpool last night, you know, it was faultless for me. He kept a clean sheet. You can't ask for any more. He looks like a good player. He looks like he can pass it and solid defensively, a good all-round central defender. So, no, really happy with him. Optimistic about him. He was a captain at Coventry, and I think he's the player that we desperately needed. So very happy with him. So at the moment, I'm giving him an A. Obviously, that's got the potential to, you know, vary. Yeah. But I'll give him an A as he is after his first game.
All right. Okay. Well, we've got in the chat here. We've got Joe Street going with an A plus on that bad boy. Craig W A plus as well. James Hickman A.5. Very needed signing. Black Eye with a B on that bad boy. We've got Steve got a bed. Morton Maltron turned off the lights. Make sure I don't know if I gotcha. Andrew Laserwitz said I'm solid in his first game. Keeping up with that, I'd have him in the lineup week in week out. A minus, potentially A star. So you're on the money there. Let's take a look at this guy then. Callum Bloody Britton. What do you think about his start so far on the right hand side? Big shoes to fill some people's eyes with matey boy Nyambe no longer with us.
I've been impressed with Britton. He seems like a really good all-round kind of footballer for a right back. He's defensively decent. He passes well. He gets forward well. He can make things happen. I mean, he's got a decent delivery on him, and he's a good all-round footballer. So I think he's more of a complete right back than certainly Nyambe was, and I think there's room for improvement from him as well. All round, I see that he can improve, but no, he's a good, really good, solid addition for me. He can do everything to a good level, and I think he can get better as well.
Getting better all the time.
Yeah, I'd give him around about a B at the moment, with the potential to just to get into the A bracket.
Okay, cool. And into the chat we go. We've got Craig W, great player so far, an A. Katie Hull has an A on that bad boy. Black Eye says, look good first few games, give him a good B again. And considering, this is James Hickman said, considering how much JRC has dropped off, he's an A in comparison for that. Andrew Lazarowicz said, Britain was fantastic QPR game, says it all in his friendly debut. That in 2 minutes he set up a goal. More attacking threat in 2 minutes than Nyambe gave in years. And he also gives him an A. Moving on to this guy, young Tyler Morton's come in and has plugged a couple of holes so far. What's your overall synopsis on that bad boy?
Tyler Morton, he's looked really good to me. Really impressive. He was he was outshone by Adam Wharton last night, but he's still got quality. I can tell he's got quality. I think he's a quality player. I want to see more from him. Want to see a bit more from him, but I'm sure I think he's got it in him to show us more. But no, he looks solid. Looks like a good all-round player. The fact that he's able to play in defence if necessary is really good to know. And yeah, he just looks like a composed footballer, a good passer, good tackler, just good all-round midfielder. So happy with him so far. Definitely give him a B. With the potential to get to an A. I'd probably give him a B plus. I'd probably give Britain a B plus, to be fair, as well.
Okay, we've got some responses in the chat. Joe Street, but actually I think he changed his mind, or either he went an A for Britain last time around. Katie Hull says a C. Jamie Jansen says A for Tyler. Craig W says great, played great last night, another A. James Hickman C plus. Squad player, hope he doesn't have to play loads of games in the loan contract. Black Eye says playing really well, B plus. Joe Street has gone with a B minus for Joe Street. And then I think this wraps up the business. It is, of course, the forgotten man, the myth, the legend, Sammy Smodic, of course. Katie Hull's gone for a B now, so she may have changed her mind. Sammy Smodic coming at you. Grade that bad boy.
He started well. He looks like he's got the potential to reach the heights, but yeah, I'm not entirely convinced so far. For me, I'm probably going to grade him in the C bracket. I'll probably give him a C plus at the moment, but yeah, I need to see more from him. I really need to see more from him for him to get into the Bs, because it was really only that first game where he got that goal, and since then he's struggled a bit. So hopefully he can start doing the business, start delivering a bit more consistently. I need to see more from him, because he's had some games where he hasn't really contributed. So I need to see some contributions from him to get him into the B bracket and beyond.
Well, he is a permanent signing, so we've got to see some return of the investment there. I think that's what they say, ROI. I'm just not going to throw that one. The return of investment, we need to see some product return from him. And yeah, he did open up with a debut goal. In the chat, we've got Jamie Jansen with a C for Sammy. Craig W, not been impressed so far, C for him. James Hickman says, it depends on how much it was. Yeah, the value, again, if it's closer to the crazy figure they were banding around. C plus for him. Black Eye, a C plus as well. Katie Hill, B minus for Sammy. He has potential, scored goals last season, but needs more work. Joe Street has gone back with A plus for Britain. Andrew Lazarowitz says Sammy was grand in his debut, but he didn't get a great deal last time out. B minus for those guys. So that's a kind of a sort of overview of what's been done in the dealings. I think that's it. I don't think I've got any other stuff. He can play on the left, though, which is really handy. Yes, indeed, it is indeed. And again, it would have been extra handy if Diaz had left us. We did do Mola, we did everybody else. I think that covers all the business. Also, just to bring it back up to date, let's go to the full screen here. We are going to do a Twitter space. Well, we may or may not. I don't know how confident we are. Well, I'm not. My confidence is not really up there with this Twitter space. But the guys, the Michael Collier's in the house, the Andrew Laserwitz's, Joe Street, Katie Hull, Black Eye, James Hickman, Jamie Jansen, and whoever else is watching us into the early wee hours. If you've got the capabilities to get on Twitter and you want your voices heard and your opinions expressed about the transfer window, this could be. I'm not guaranteeing it because I don't know if it's going to work, but this could be your opportunity to get your voices heard and be a part of the show from without. You could be in your pajamas, because it's all your audio. But I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to give it a go anyway. If it doesn't work, we'll end the show with a song from Haven, who's been practicing all night for a song. Take what?
Which one's that? Yeah, okay.
Just save it. Just
name that
think about it. It'll put you under a bit of pressure for later on. But so all in all, the main takeaway for tonight is Diaz will be a Rovers player for Saturday. Happy with that?
I am happy with that. In an ideal world, he stays, he signs some kind of contract, and everything's safe and secure, and then we eventually sell him for a good price. So yeah, I'd rather have him than not have him if we can't replace him with another him, if you know what I mean. And I don't see that. I never thought that was going to happen. So I thought we'd always be weaker if we lost him. So I'm happy that he's staying. I just want the club to sort it out and him to do the right thing and sign some kind of contract so that when he goes, the club's in a better place. Yeah, and that's my main concern is that. But if they are so blasé about rejecting these offers and just going to let the transfer thing go to pot, then it is on them. They put the money in. They spent the 7 million or whatever it was to get him here in the first place. If they are so wishy-washy and they don't want to spend a bit of money to kind of secure their investment, then yes, it's like if I was an owner of a business and I knew my assets and what they were worth, I would be like, if my manager ain't sorting that shit out, or whoever's maybe sorting that shit out, I would be like, you know what, I'll be, what's the word where you kind of basically do that job for them and say, you know what, forget about it. I'm going to go and have a chat with Diaz and get him signed on for a little bit. But anyway, Alex, I'm going to let you roll out of here. I'm still hopeful of Dembele.
Well, we are at 37 minutes. 37 minutes for that bad boy to happen. But Alex, I want you to get rested, relax, get a cup of coffee or something. If you want to join in later on with the Twitter space, at least we're going to give it a shot anyway. So come back in about 30 minutes. I might try and get the Twitter space live. About 5 minutes to thing, but I will drop it in the Zoom in our WhatsApp chat, the link to the Twitter space, so you can get in there and get a seat at the table. It's basically, I don't know if you've ever done it, it's just you're in there, and then if you want to speak, you can raise your hand, and then I'll say go, and then you can speak and we can talk about it. But again, I'm opening up to the guys here watching as well, so I'll let you get
Never say never till the last second, right?
Right, yeah, and we just don't know, but it looks like everybody else is turning off the lights except for us. We're going to be there to the bitter end, and again, I want to hear everyone else's points of view live by the Twitch space, so we will check in on that later. But for now, get yourself a cup of coffee, get a Horlicks or whatever they call it, the malted milk, and yes, and then ciao for now. So while he whacks, because he could be singing, us out. You've got to practice. Yes, so Alex will be practicing right now. Waiting in his wings to fill the gap will be Jacob in just a second. We are 35 minutes out from the window closing. News is coming at us from all angles. James Garner has signed for Everton, formerly, of course, of Forest, and Manchester United, of course. He was on loan at Forest last time around. Callum Robinson has, of course, joined Cardiff as well. Rovers keeping it tight today, very, very airtight, and just bringing in the one face, and that one face was Clinton Mola last time around. Yeah, Jacob is back with us once again. He's got his brew. I'm desperate for a brew, but it's fine. So it's no, you've missed absolutely nothing. So it's as we were really. It does look like, I just saw here, Chelsea are going to sign Aubameyang. That looks like it's going to happen. So that's something going on in the Premier League, maybe for your fantasy videos and all that. Haaland just can't stop scoring right now, so I don't think that's going to change anything soon. But I did go through again. I don't know if I want to do it again. Well, I don't mind doing it again, but if we were to go through the signings individually, if you want to grade them, short, sharp burst about those, and a lot of people who may have not been here as well, they might have just joined us. But we will. Let's do it again. Let's do it again from can I do it in reverse order?
I'm not sure I can do short and
Well,
sharp.
yeah, I know. Okay, we'll do it. We'll do it a little bit differently. How do I get back to the thing here? It's there. So let's start with, how would you grade? Again, think of the business sense of this one, or the logical standpoint on this. Diaz staying. Is that, how good a move is that from an A to an F?
Are we considering from a business standpoint
yes,
as well?
Well, as a of course, it's an A for him staying for Rovers for the season, for this season as a whole. If we realistically have ambitions to get to the promised land, it's an A. But realistically, do we think we're going to get promoted at the end of the season, even with his goals? I don't think so. So for me, that's where it's concerning. But for you, yeah, of course, we're all going to be elated to see his name on the shirt on Saturday. But what do you think about the whole thing?
It's a weird one, because I was I said 15 million and nothing in my mind. I don't think we could let him go for any less than 15 million. Obviously, I think Notts Forest have 20%, I've seen online, of any profits off him. We bought him for 7. So at that point, if we were taking any less than 15, and we're considering how much better he is now than when we got him he was absolutely abysmal. I think 15 million's fair. I know obviously he's only got a year left, but the Venkids seem to play hardball, don't they? They make their evaluation on a player, and you either meet it and you get him, or you don't meet it and you can sod off, I guess, which seems to have been the case. I mean, in my opinion, I think, he's just as good as Armstrong was when he were banging him in. I know Armstrong did it over 2 seasons, to be fair, but Diaz comes and I think he's a better suit to the Prem. I think he's a better build for the Prem. Comes with his Chilean fan base as well, which have been a bit annoyed. I've seen on some tweets that we're not letting him hashtag free Ben and all this bollocks, but what has been a bit annoying. But I think, in my opinion, if no one was willing to meet the 15 million, I'm glad we've kept him. Ultimately, there's a slim chance we can get him to sign on for another year and repay us, I guess. He might, like I said, he might want to stay, have a season with Daki. Obviously, he's good mates with Dak, and I'd love to see them two form a partnership. Last night was a little insight to what could be, I guess. Sign a 1 year, but if not, there's always the chance, if things aren't going well by January and it's looking like we're nowhere near the playoffs and don't stand a cat and nose chance of making it, we cash in for 7 million and get our money back, essentially. So yeah, I don't think it's the end of the world by any means. And to be honest, we sold Armstrong and we haven't really seen much of that money, have we? So if we were to sell Diaz, how much would we realistically have been seeing? So as long as the Venkies are comfortable with it, and obviously they are, else they would have took one of these deals, and we're not putting ourselves in any sort of financial fair play risk or anything like that, it's fine by me.
Yeah. Just somebody's tweeted me saying nonsense stuff. How do I do this? Okay, so back it up, of course. Rankin-Costello stays. We talked about that earlier. You know, that's an F for me. The fact he's staying. You know, he needs to get out there. He needs to get the games. He just needs a confidence boosting season, and he ain't gonna get that right now. And I don't know where he is in the pecking order, anywhere in the depth chart. If he's, you know, I think Pike maybe even ahead of him at right back right now. It's bad.
Yeah, I agree. I think he needed a loan, didn't he? I can see him going in January on a loan because he probably won't play between now and then. Maybe feature in West Ham in the Cup, but I bloody hope he doesn't because it'll be embarrassing if he does. But yeah, I think JDT, obviously, it's a bit of an indictment on him when he's, you know, brung Buckley on and put him at right back for half a game and then preferred Travis over him or captain at right back. It's not a good look for Rankin-Costello. So yeah, he definitely needed a loan for me.
Yeah, who else have I got going on here? I've got Butterworth is gone. Ousted to Vale, Port Vale, and Vale ousted him. You did say that earlier. You know, it's again, we've seen him in probably blue-white shirts for the last time. Will he be a success at Vale or no?
No, I'm going to lean towards no. There's nothing I've seen personally that suggests to me that he's going to be a player. You know, obviously his time at Fleetwood as well last season. He did go in halfway through the season, which can't be easy, to be fair to him. But if I was to have a guess, I'd say he doesn't get more than 8 goals for Port Vale. I'd be shocked if he got to 7, to be honest. But by all means, I hope he kicks on and comes back a rejuvenated, different player and could answer any questions. If Diaz goes, you never know, he could always slot in there somewhere across that front line, but I just can't see it at all. But I think it's a good move for him, give him a good season at League One level and hopefully show his worth.
If he scores 20, does he stay? Do we give him a new deal?
Yeah, you've got to. If he goes out and scores 20, we'd be silly to let him go for nothing. You got to reward him if he has a good loan spell, but I just can't see it personally. But if he was to go out and score 20 at Port Vale, I'd be the first person to put my hands up and say fair play, you've proved me wrong. And then at that point, he'd deserve a chance in the first team, if you ask me, and would arguably be pushing to start, depending obviously on who we'd have up front at the start of next season. But if he goes out and scores 20 in League One, that's no mean feat. I mean, Danny Graham couldn't manage it in a team that finished second. You know what I mean? So if he scores 20, fair play to him.
Okay, so we did grade. We just went through this with Alex. The signings, we're doing reverse order to tease the last signing of the day from us. But Sammy Smodic, grade him out of individually from A to F.
I think me and you are on the same wavelength with Smodic in a minute. I don't think either of us have been very impressed, to be honest. Other than score in his debut, which obviously is the dream start, but even Swansea away, other than score, he didn't really do a whole lot for me. And in every game since, he's not really done a whole lot other than just run about and be busy trying to press people, if you ask me. There's been no sort of shooting, really, no sort of like really good passes, what's made me think, oh, we have a player here. It's just been a bit underwhelming, to be honest, and I'd much rather have Dak certainly after yesterday's performance than Smodic, and maybe that's what Dak needed to give him a bit of a kick up the arse. And yeah, I mean, I think Smodic will struggle to get back in this team from what I've seen, to be honest with you.
A grade, a letter grade?
Oh yeah. I mean, at the minute, I think I'd probably have to give it a C-. Can't be too negative because there's only obviously a handful of games I've seen, but at the minute we paid a decent fee for him and I haven't seen anything to suggest he's worth that much. And he's also an older player as well. He's like 27, isn't he? So he should be in his prime right now. He should be hitting the ground running, you would think. And yeah, I haven't seen anything.
Tyler Morton. Grade him.
Yeah, Morton. I'd give Morton a B plus. I think Bradford's definitely man of the match. Was really impressed. Coming at centre back, and you'd think he'd played there his entire career. The way he handled himself, controlled that game from the back, and didn't struggle at all. And a really weak back four that day. And fair play to him. And when he's featured in the Championship, he's looked all right. There's been a few good balls and stuff like that. You can tell he's got that vision, got that ability, like Buckley has, but Buckley just hasn't been doing it at the minute, unfortunately. But yeah, I think he's definitely a talent for the future. He'll definitely be a starting in the Prem in at least a couple of years, I would think, whether that be for Liverpool or for someone else.
Here's a question for you: who starts more this season, Morton or Buckley?
I'd hope Buckley, just simply because he's our player, and he's a player I can see in a year or two's time us selling for 10 million or so. I'm hoping, because I think he's got the natural ability there with his passing, which you just can't teach. You just have that or you don't, in my opinion. And to see that ball, to be able to pull off that ball, we've seen it. I don't know what's up with him at the minute. I'm not sure whether the two in the midfield just doesn't suit him. It didn't really suit him last year when he was playing there and against Stoke, and that he was part of the front four against Stoke, and it took me back to him being played as a false nine under Mowbray, and I got PTSD a little bit. It was horrible, but he should be nowhere near a front line. He can't really shoot, to be honest. He's no good with his back to goal. He needs to be in that midfield where he can see everything in front of him. So I'd hope Buckley, but at the minute I'd have to say Morton, just because Buckley's had one good game, to be honest with you. He was great against QPR, but since then it's been crap, to be honest, hasn't he? I don't know what's up with him there, but yeah, I'd say Morton, unfortunately.
Okay, how would you grade the business of Callum Britton?
Yeah, Callum Britton, I'd say a B. I think it's an upgrade on Nyambe from what I've seen. I think we've got a better player on our hands, to be honest with you. I think he's more naturally gifted. I think that's clear to see. He's more comfortable going forwards for sure. Like I mentioned before, I'm not sure whether he's as defensively sound as Nyambe is, but that's all Nyambe was, to be honest, wasn't it? So I think I'd go with a B. I think it's an upgrade, but I don't think it's a major upgrade. I don't think we've gone from, a C player to an A player by any means. But, Nyambe was someone who always give us a 7, 8 out of 10, in my opinion. There's very few bad games Nyambe had, but he would never really make an impact on games, obviously going forwards, which I think Britain could do. So I'm hoping he has that to his game and can maybe shore up a bit more defensively and be a complete right back at that point, wouldn't he?
Yep. Dominic Hyam, what are we thinking about him? Grade him from A to F.
Yeah, I think I'd give that signing an A. Obviously, there was only last night to go off, but from everything I've heard, from obviously him being Coventry's captain, we've weakened a rival team in this league who will want to be going for playoffs this season, no doubt. They've got O'Hare, they've got that striker up front who's quite good as well. They'd fancy their chances this season pushing for playoffs. We've weakened opposition, we took advantage of their situation. I think $1.5 million for a player at this level who's supposedly quite a good centre-back is nothing short of a steal. He's a good age, captain, and was a good performance last night. I'd give him a 7, 8 out of 10. And for your first Rovers game, being chucked in at the deep end after only being with the club for a day or two, that's not too bad, is it? So I'd go with an A, and I hope he's the first name on the team sheet in a few weeks' time. I hope he proves he's a quality player and can be that difference, like I said. Bit different to Ayala and Wharton, can get us up the pitch more with his progressive passing and running, which his stats at Coventry seem to suggest he can do. So let's hope that is the case.
Yeah, Yeah, it's a cracking signing. That experienced head at the back, captain as well from commentary, taking that guy. Oh, that's a move that I would, if I was in their shoes, I would have. I mean, we kind of got done over a little bit by Middlesbrough in a way, but I think this kind of levels the playing field a little bit. I think he's a year younger than Dara, so we will reap the benefits from that. But yeah, I'm happy with that. B plus, A minus. And again, he looked pretty decent, considering he signed, what, Sunday, Monday? I think Sunday. So then started Wednesday in a makeshift back line there. So, Georgie Hurst. What are you thinking about this overall in a nutshell?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a B with that. At first, when we were linked, I thought it would only be a loan, so I weren't too impressed with that, because if we were just loaning someone in for the season, I wouldn't have wanted him personally, because he's not someone who's tried and tested at this level. But the fact we have a view to buy makes it better for me, because if we see something in him this season and then we've got that view to buy, obviously we can activate that if we want him. That makes it worth it to me, because if he has a good season here and he grows as a player, we're then buying into his potential, just like we did with Diaz essentially, when obviously he come from Forest. But I think I don't mind it too much. I think he's got a point to prove. He's never done it at this level. Ended last season really well, so I just hope he carries on that form with us. Obviously it's a step up to the Championship, so hopefully he's up for it. But the view to buy makes it a lot better for me. If it was just a loan, and to be honest with you, I'd probably give it like a C minus. I'm not gonna lie, because just the record obviously coming in doesn't fill me with confidence. But if we can grow him as a player and stuff, and then we can buy him, that we could have a player on our hands essentially. So that it salvages the deal for me. That.
Yeah, and hopefully the fee is agreed already. Like, if he scores 10 goals, it's I don't know, whatever million it is, and they don't move the goalpost if he scores 30 goals or something crazy, and then they go, oh no, there's an extra zero. You didn't see the extra zero there. So hopefully hopefully he gets a warm figure of over 10 goals. If that'd be great, and then it's kind of like a massive step in the right direction for him as a player, good for us as well, and it would be. And again, people always forget about. I think they forget about that we have Mackenday waiting in the wings to step up and hopefully be a key part of our attacking force. I was hoping he would be at least considered. I don't know if it's fitness, maybe, but I want to see more of him. And get the next chapter. The next chapter it was Adam Armstrong. It was now Diaz, and Diaz is going to have a little bit of a Indian summer, I guess they call it, an extended stay. And maybe we could squeeze some more goals out of him, and then next year it could be this guy coming in there, filling the void, maybe Gallagher's missed the boat, or maybe this will be the rocket up his arse to say, hang on a minute, maybe I'm supposed to be the next guy to benefit from that. Okay, I think we've got one more graphic here. It is, of course, the new guy, Clinton Mola, can fill in a lot of gaps, a lot of spots at the back there. Came out of nowhere. Good bit of sneaky beaky business from Team GB and the recruitment staff there. So what is your take on that business?
Again, similar to Hurst, I like the view to buy a lot. He hasn't played much for Stuttgart. I think it's like 14 appearances or something in 2 years, which obviously isn't great, but comes with pedigree from the England youth level. But obviously it's to be expected when you're at Stuttgart. They're a Bundesliga team, aren't they? So I'd be shocked if we were getting someone who was playing a lot for a Bundesliga team. So hopefully, he comes in, and I don't think, like I said before, I think he's going to be more of a backup option anyway. But if he takes his chance when he gets it, and there's no reason why I wouldn't be up for buying him in the summer if it's touted round about 2-3 million or whatnot. This view to buy, if he looks a player and can come in and do a job in multiple positions, holding midfield, left back, centre back, and he's a solid player whenever he does. Why shouldn't we go for that view to buy?
Yeah, and it worked out for us in a way last season when we took on Zifuk with a bit of loan to buy option. Of course, he didn't really step up, or wasn't really given a good a good crack at it, but there was not much there to go for. So I think we did the right thing and not take up on the option. And you're right, we might get lucky with both of these loan to buys to being brilliant, and we get the best end of the deal, or they could both be absolutely dog shit. They could be Hope Backband Mark II or Raheem Harper 2.0, and they could be absolutely shit. And then we'll say thanks for the memories, and then thanks. So Callum Styles again was linked with Rovers. Is close to joining Mill on loan, but there is no option to buy, so he will spend the season in the Championship with Millwall with the hope that Barnsley get promoted, and of course return back to Oakwell. So that is just about that. So yeah, that is our business. Yeah, all in all, it's good. We filled the void. We replaced the faces. And yeah, the loans have come in. There's how many loans now? So those two, the new guys' loans plus Tyler Morton. That's 3. There is room there to add it if we need it in January, I think. And yeah, I think we did good. And let's hope. I think you did say earlier with your starting 11 you would throw them in the deep end for Bristol City on Saturday. So let's hope we can follow up from Wednesday's result into the weekend with this one. Any closing comments for this? Because what we're going to do now, what I'm doing now is let you have your final speak, and then I've got to get this Twitter space on, because I can't have both the Zoom and the Twitter space on. But you got to get in the Twitter space, and then you can still be there, hopefully, because we've got 13 minutes till the gong goes. Closing comments, just in case this is it. What are you of the window? Diaz stays. Phillips ain't going to Spurs. It doesn't look like. Still going to get that 1% over the line and get that signed and sealed. But if that does happen, Phillips stay in. Then again, the investment does look like it's going to be rewarding in the end.
Yeah, I didn't actually give a grade for Mola, so I'll give that a B as well, the same as Hurst. But I think overall, I'd probably give the window a B. We never got Van Eyck, which was one obviously I think fans were more hopeful for more than anything. But if we'd have got him back, that would have really got me excited. I definitely think we could have pushed for playoffs if we got Van Eyck back. But I'd give it a B. I think we've got some decent players through the door, young, hungry players, but a good mix as well with a few more experienced heads as well, with Hyam and Smodic. I think, to be honest, we've probably covered all bases of positions we needed as well, to be honest. I think there's not one position left, other than maybe a backup right back, if I was being really picky. But, the holding midfield problem I had, it seems Mola can play there. Centre-backs, that's been dealt with. Another striker, that's been dealt with. Obviously, Diaz ain't going, so we don't need a replacement there now. We've covered all bases. We'll have to obviously see whether these players that have come in terms of Mola and Hurst are the quality we need. But if they are, there's no reason why we can't kick on this season and hopefully make a late playoff push.
Yeah. Let's hope that it all works, it all clicks together. And that we've picked up some hidden gems, of course, with the Mola, with the Hurst, and of course, keeping Diaz. He will get goals. He will get goals as long as he's fit. He'll get goals. It was a bit, he started off pretty good, a couple of goals early doors, then went a little bit of a small mini drought there, but back to scoring ways, which I thought was our last time we'd see him play and score. So. Yeah, I think, and again, hopefully his again he can't be disheartened with that, the fact that he's staying, because he's going to be like me at a buffet, he's going to have so much options come January and maybe even May. He can either pick and choose. He can make a move to La Liga, he can make a move to the Premier League, regardless. So yeah, I'm sure he's going to be a little bit maybe a little bit down in the dumps that he didn't get the move now, but really he's in a good place. We love him. The Diaz and Dak thing, I think, we haven't really seen that. We've seen that off-camera chemistry, but let's see it gel together for a Rovers swan song. Yeah, looking forward to seeing what it's going to be like.
No, we got a little tease last night, didn't we? The Dak and Diaz effect. And I mean, if them two can hit it off this season, that could be a deadly partnership. I mean, if we liked Dak and Danny Graham, but you know, Diaz is double the player Graham is, if we're honest. So if they can get something going, if Dak can carry on assisting Diaz like that, if Diaz can start even chipping in for Dak, if Dak can get to 15 goals this season and Diaz has a similar sort of season, low 20s, I'd be shocked if we didn't make playoffs if them two hit those sorts of numbers, to be honest. But we've seen it before when we had Rhodes and Gestede. Both of them got to 20s in goal figures and we somehow didn't make it. So anything's possible, I guess.
All right. Well, Jacob, I'm going to let you go for now. Again, get involved in the Twitter space. We will know within probably about 10 minutes if it's a success or a disaster. I just want to make sure that there's no feedback because this is going to have the Twitter space, or I'm going to have to think off my feet and try and do a workaround. But anyway, Jacob, you've been stellar tonight, as always. Appreciate it. And again, we'll be in touch regardless tomorrow, of course, to build up to the game. So we are 9 minutes away. I've got to close down the Zoom because I've got to get the Twitter space up for now. I'm going to bid farewell for the time being. And now I'm going to try and fire up the Twitter space, at least get close to get that Twitter space, because I've never done it before. I actually try to do it on my phone. I am banned, a semi-soft banned from doing Twitter spaces on my Roverseas account, but we're going to do it from my personal account, which we do have a little bit of a following on there. So hopefully, if I can remember what my fucking password is. What is my password? That's the problem. I don't even know what my password is. What is my password? That's going to be the main caveat here, is that if I can't bloody log in, we've texted you. Okay, they've texted me, so hopefully I can get in here and let's see if this does work. Get yourselves over there and you can actually have your say live. So how do I actually do that? So if I go into messages, if I go into here, if I go into here, go. Okay, we may have a problem. How do I start this then? Okay, I've got to think of my feet. Got to think of my feet. So I think I've got to start it on my phone, and then I've got to watch it through this. That is how it works. So we're getting there. This is, of course, a project. I don't know how, again, it may or may not work. So we will we'll give it our best shot. So I've got to log in with this guy here. I'm going to go there. I'm going to put that on in a second. Let's switch accounts here. Tell you, this is live breaking TV. 7 minutes for the window, but I got 7 minutes to get the Twitter space up, so you can get your voice heard as well. So let me get that prepped. I think I figured it out. So 6 o'clock start. I think I'm ready. What we're going to do here, so we're going to fire it up on this guy, and hopefully I have enough battery power. Let me think about that quick. Let me think about the battery power on my phone. Is this going to charge? Can I charge this while we do this? Yes, we can. Trust. All right, so let me. I'm going to try and start the Twitter space early. Let's try and start. Hang on a minute. Be with us. Stay with us. This may or may, again, still may be a disaster. It still may be a disaster, but it also still may be a success. So we got 6 minutes before the transfer window slam shut. 6 minutes to secure the deal here and get this Fantastic bit of innovation going on. We're combining Twitter Space, we're combining YouTube Stream with a dead phone and possible feedback. So let's give it a whirl. We're going to start that now. Did I start that now? Okay, I need to actually connect. Oh, this is a problem, or is it a problem? So we have Katie. Katie's already jumped in the space. We'll get. Don't start talking just yet. I'll put the mic on so you can hear me on the Twitter space. We are trying to combine the Twitter space and the YouTube speed thingy in a second. So let me just try and get the Twitter space started on this. Why can't I get in there? Can I not get in there? I don't know if this is going to work, guys. I don't think this is going to work. What's going on here? So you are listening. We are live, talking about the transfer window, and it is late. I am trying to figure it out. It does say listen live. Join this space. All right. Can you hear me? Let's I can hear myself double speaking. This is bizarro world here. So we're gonna, how are we gonna do this? We're gonna try and I don't know if it's gonna work. What is my Twitter? It's at Dirk Copeland. I'll punch it in the thing here, guys. This is the link. I can hear you in the Twitter. Katie, I appreciate that. We got 5 years in the house, or 3 of us, really. Again, we're soft tweeting this. We're trying to give this a chance for you guys to say. I don't know how we're going to make this look presentable on the screen. Maybe I just do it like this. I'm going to add the what we're going to do here. Where is it? Where is it? Is it this guy? I think we're doing this guy. Right, we're doing that. I'm going to push that down by there. Cut into it. All right, so who wants to speak in the Twitter space? And we're going to give it a shot. Anybody? I'm going to ask you. I've got Craig in there. I've got Matt, Si, Slater, Katie, Eamon. Who wants to have a go to be the first one to do something crazy and innovative in the Blackburn Rovers Twitter space? If you're interested, raise your hand now. Of course, so we can get your words and wisdom about the Twitter space. So we got a request. How do I deal with that then? Request. It is Katie. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully I can hear you. Can you hear us? How do I deal with this now? How do I deal with this? Can you hear me, Katie? Can you speak? I am new to the plan. Mic is on.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
You can hear me? It's all right. Let me just turn this down a second, and hopefully it'll come through on the stuff. I'm still figuring it all out. Let's see. I don't know if it's actually going to work here, but I'm trying. You can hear me now. It's not coming through on the stream, though. It's not coming through on the stream. We're trying, people. We're trying something crazy and innovative, and I don't know if it's going to work. Bear with me. Can you hear me on this? Can you hear me on the thing? I don't even know. This. I don't know. I should have tested this. I should have tested this out beforehand.
I can hear you now.
You can hear me now. That's great.
Yeah.
I guess we're just going to have to do it like this. So Katie, you can hear us on the Twitter space. You are live. What is your thoughts and, of course, opinions of the transfer business for Rovers today? Concluding Diaz stays. Are you happy with that?
To be honest, yeah, I'm really realistic. It's hard to look at football because I feel like, obviously, like players kind of, try themselves quite storm, don't really care what's going on. And I kind of felt like after the interview that he did, Adam Wharton on Sky after the match yesterday, I kind of got the thought that he wanted to stay. Kind of the way that he spoke was, around he's brought up wearing a Roverseas shirt, he's going through his business. But obviously there's things stuff sort of like breakdown, maybe like sorting out contracts and things like that. But I'm glad that he stays. I feel like if he stayed, that was difference was making playoffs and us then going down for ability, which we don't really want.
Okay. What about Ashley Phillips situation. Of course, we are still trying to get that done and dusted over the line and get him signed up for a longer term deal. But Spurs were lingering. Are you happy that he's still there? He didn't get gobbled up by somebody else.
Yeah, definitely. Because obviously, you know, he's kind of like one of the future talents. Want to keep them and nurture them. And unfortunately, sometimes, especially, you know, he's age, money's come into it. You know, you see other people like at Tottenham and the big clubs earning a ridiculous amount of money, where you can, who wouldn't want to go for that? But on the other side, you know, he could come to Tottenham and Blackburn. You've obviously got other people to end with. He could go on actually not get to even see any action, which is not going to help in terms of his career.
Somebody in there. I'm going to throw in. I've got a request here. It's Haben in the house. Okay, Alexander Haben, you are live. Can you hear me? Probably not. Can you hear me, Alex? You are supposed to be on. Again, we are.
Yes.
Yay! What is happening?
Yeah, I'm all good. Yeah.
All good in the hood. Of course, you were with us throughout the show tonight, all through the long hours. Try turning your iPods off so it comes through your phone speakers. I have got my iPods. It's coming through the speaker right now. It's just been. It's just not great. I'm trying to work it through the desktop. In fact, maybe that might be it. That might be the answer. That's right. Hang on here, people. Hang on here. We might some wisdom in the chat there. We are going to.
I'm ready.
Yeah. Well, hang on. So we're gonna go internal speakers. Say something.
I've been away.
Don't sing. No, not yet. It ain't happening. I don't know what's going on. You're singing terrible. No, I'm only joking. Great stuff singing there, Alex. So, in a nutshell, you're still happy with the business for Rovers today?
I'm reasonably happy. Obviously, Dembele would have been a dream signing. But I'm reasonably happy. I am happy Diaz is staying, because I don't think we'd ever replace him. So, yeah, I'm reasonably happy. Yeah. I'll be pretty happy, really, with what we've done. I think we've got players in now with a lot of potential to be really good players for us. Hopefully they will be. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty content with the business.
Me too. I'm just a little bit gutted about this Twitter space. I'm still trying to figure out how to get it to come through the bloody stream. So while we do that, Alex, sing us a song. While I think there's something going on here. I don't know. Bang out a tune of some caliber.
I've been
There
a
we go.
wild rover for many's the year, and I've spent all my money on whiskey and beer, but now I'm
Cracking.
returning with gold in great store, and I never will play the wild rover no more.
Okay, that is fabuloso. Wait right there. I might have come up with an idea here. Let's see if this works.
No, nay,
Again.
never. Yeah. No, nay, never, no more.
Okay.
Will I play the wild rover? No, never, no more.
Okay, we'll try something a little bit wild here. This may or may not work again.
I went to an ale house.
All right already. Okay. Can you hear me?
Do you want to hear about it?
Do I want to hear about it? Go for it. Go for yeah. Shoot.
Okay. I went to an alehouse I used to frequent. I told the landlady my money was spent. I asked her for credit, she answered me nay. Such a custom as yours I can have any day. And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more. Will I play the wild rover? No, never, no more.
Perfect. You know what? I appreciate that, Alex. You've been a star. We're going to do this again another day. So Jacob. So in fact, Scott. Maybe we'll get Scott in here. We'll throw. Take it away, Scott. You're live. Scott's live. He's thinking about it. Scott, you're on the hockey. Well, you were on the hockey. You're on the hockey. You're muted though. How do I unmute you?
Good evening, how are we?
We're good. How are you? Are you happy with Diaz sticking around?
Absolutely. It's been I think he's going to take us to the promised land, I really do.
How many goals do you reckon he'll get this year?
35.
35. Oh, that's ambitious. It's ambitious. What about the rest of the dealings today, or in the transfer window as a whole? You know, we picked up that Hyam from Coventry. Seemed pretty good yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think we've made some outstanding signings, to be honest with you. I wouldn't mind if maybe we brought in someone like Mitrovic, just to add a bit more flair up front. But I suppose we just have to deal with what we've got at the minute.
Yeah. It's it might. I think we could. I think we were looking at Mitrovic, but I think he was just too deadly for us today. Well, if you were to rate out the signings that we made as your signing of the summer, who would it be?
So far from what I've seen, I really do rate Callum Britton. I think Smodics needs to just liven up a little bit. What about yourself?
Yeah, well, there's not much to go from Smodic right now. You know, he came with that one goal and it kind of whetted the appetite a little bit, and since then he's kind of gone off the rails. So yeah, he needs a couple of games to maybe get back to the good stuff. And but Britain for me so far stand out. But Hyam's running in close, but I can only judge him from the first game.
I thought that. Yeah, absolutely. I thought that Adam Ward looked quite good last night in the middle of the park. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, I think these kind of gems like your Adam Whartons, your Hayden Carters and things like that, Jack Vale to a point as well, are like new signings. Even though they've come through the academy, they just lack that experience that might come to bite them in the arse later on. But for what we've seen so far, you know, they're holding their own in the championship, and I think that's just going to do us better in the long term.
Absolutely, yeah. I just maybe wish we got some more experience in, you know, somebody, you know, when we brought players in like Danny Murphy, and you know, it made a real difference for us. I just thought maybe a bit more experience would have been great this transfer window.
Yeah, the Danny Murphys. It's a bit. Well, to be honest with you, he was not the greatest. He was. Of course, he had a good career, but we just saw the rough end of it when he came with us. But appreciate you coming on board with this project Twitter space here. I'm going to let you tot off for now, and we're going to move on to who else is in the house. We'll go Jacob. We'll chunk him in there. I'm going to wrap this up shortly after Jacob, I think, because it's not really working out the way I wanted it to. But Jacob, how you doing?
Just a bit puzzled by what I heard. Danny Murphy, good for us.
Well, each to their own. You know, some people see things differently. You know, I'm sure you said Chris Brown was pretty decent for us. What's it now? I'm only joking. But no, it's a bit bizarre. But hey, each to their own.
We were linked with Mitrovic.
Are you still on? Are you still on here? Who's that? No, we weren't. I was being hospitable. It's dreamland. I think we were all in. Like, we'd love to have Mitrovic here, but Anywho, this is not how I wanted this to be. I appreciate you all coming in and giving us this experiment to run through, and maybe we'll have another one. Maybe I'll figure it out, because there must be a way to connect these two, but for whatever reason I can't do it. Anyway, Jacob, huh?
I'm not finished my song.
Well, it's all right. We've had enough. We've had enough. I'm going to let you all go. I appreciate it. Going to end this stream. I'm going to end that stream. I'm knackered. You guys must be knackered. And we'll do a debrief, I'm sure. So, ciao, ciao. Love you all. I know you are. Yeah, get involved. Get to his Twitter. But until then, dudes, I'm ending it. And I'm going to end this as well. It's been fantastic. Business has been good. Diaz still remains, as does Phillips. But I think before we go, one more thing before you guys can go, and that is, of course, you've got to do this. You've got to go and vote. That's right. Oh, we're here to the bitter end. We were here to the wee hours until it's slam shut. Cutley Fortress vote Roverseas. Do us a favour. Vote. It is 100% free. But I am off to lie down. I appreciate everyone being here. Of course, it has been deadline day, and Rovers still have Diaz, the Chilean wonder.